Peace and greetings, family. Peace and greetings. Peace and greetings. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Much love, much love, much love in the house, in the house, in the house. Hey, this your brother, Sun Ray 9 coming up in here. Hey, man, for the Sun Ray 9 show, most definitely brought to you in part by Culture Freedom Radio Network. Man, delighted to be in this house with you one more time. Delighted to be in this house with you one more time for another interesting topic of conversation tonight. Oh, man, let me cut this down. Let me cut this down. Yeah, tonight, man. Hey, how y'all doing out there, man? I hope y'all having a wonderful day. Hope y'all had a wonderful evening, man, going into this nighttime. Most definitely, man. Hey, I got an interesting topic of conversation tonight, man, right here, man. Tonight, right here on the Sunray 9 show. Tonight's topic of conversation is stop teaching that the African slave trade didn't exist. Stop teaching that the African slave trade did not exist. Oh man, y'all didn't know people was out there teaching that the African slave trade didn't exist. Y'all didn't know that was happening, did you? Did y'all know that? Yeah. They got people out there teaching that the African slave trade did not exist. And I'm gonna get into it tonight, man, and I'm gonna talk about this rapper, and that's what brought this conversation on, about the rapper B.O.B. and his statement that the slave trade didn't exist. And I'm gonna give y'all a reason why they kind of saying it, and why they saying that the slave trade didn't exist. And there was an incident where somebody else was posted it. I think it was Timmy Ford on Facebook posted it, and I commented. And sometimes, y'all, I try to stay away from commenting on certain things because some people are so sensitive, and I don't mean no harm. They're sensitive when you comment and you make a statement, and we get so sensitive. And I said something, family, and I knew it was going to be a sensitive thing when I said it. And just like tonight, I probably say something and present something that may be sensitive to somebody. Somebody might get mad, but it's not to piss you off, and it's not to cause any harm or dissension about nobody. We're just trying to set the record straight. That's it. So I just want to say tonight, put out my disclaimer, I guess, that this show is not to cause any dissension or any disagreement with anybody and try to start an argument, and it's not to cause any racial stir or cause any racism, make you want to go out and whoop. It's not about that. This show here is for educational purpose only. Let me make this clear. It's for educational purpose only. Facebook, that includes you. So, because I had to say this, family, just in case I get kicked off in the process of playing some clips. And if I do get kicked off, let me tell y'all, man, how y'all can go back. Because I go back to my YouTube channel, which I'm trying to go over here and start doing, so I won't have to worry about getting kicked off of Facebook. So you can go to our YouTube page, my YouTube page. If I do get kicked off of here, you can go to my YouTube page at Sunray 9 Show on YouTube, and I just go over there and I go live. So just in case if I do get kicked off, family, I switch on over there and I would do the show from the YouTube live. YouTube, and I go to the Sunray 9 Show. But hoping everything go well. They don't get pissed off. They don't think I'm saying some sensitive topics, and Facebook won't kick us off. So I got to say that right there. And I got a couple of extra clips in here that I'm going to play as well, that I'm going to be presenting in his show to help with the topic of conversation tonight. And I want to present, like I said, a lot of evidence. And so that's primarily what I'm going to be doing. I want to say peace to everybody in the chat room. Peace to you in the chat room as well. Thank you for tuning in right here tonight to the Sunray 9 Show. And like I said, this is here, man, just for set the record straight. This is for educational purposes only. This is not to cause any harm, disturbance, or racial disagreements. Make y'all want to go out and be like Antifa, want to go start no done racial riots. This is educational purpose, because we do have to stop people from teaching that the slave trade didn't exist. And I'm gonna tell y'all one of the reasons they said the slave trade didn't exist. They're saying that the trade, and that's why I got into it was a disagreement. Somebody told me to stop being silly. Stop being silly, Sunray. Because I made the statement that it's some of the Moors. Let me say that. Some of the Moors, and that's why I get into comment. That's why I'm going to get into controversy here. Some of the Moors is teaching this stuff, that the slave trade didn't exist. And the reason they saying it, y'all, is because they saying that they can't find no ships. They can't find the ships. They can't find the boats. So that's why they say that the slave trade couldn't have existed like they say. They said the numbers don't add up. This is why they trying to say that the slave trade then is this, y'all. Come on. That's crazy as I don't know what. But I'm going to get into that. I'm going to say that. I'm going to get into that. And I want to read, trying to find the right article where the so-called hip-hop artist B.O.B. said it. And he said he believed in the flat earth theory. I don't get into all that stuff like that. I ain't into all that flat earth, round earth. I don't give a damn. I'm just on the earth. That's all I care about. Like I said, I got a couple of clips I'm going to play tonight, man. I'm going to go into some stuff in the clip. We're going to talk about a little history and more right here tonight, man. But hey, I got this right here I want to play, and I'm going to come right back as I pull this article up and read y'all some of this stuff right here. Man, we're going to get into the night, man. Stop teaching that the African slave trade then is this. Be right back right after this.
The thing that distinguishes slavery in Africa from Atlantic slavery is race. Europeans set in motion a system of slavery that was predicated on the idea that certain people were marked as enslavable.
We've learned a great deal about the Middle Passage in the last 40 years or so. The volume of the trade involved the removal of about 12.5 million people from the African continent.
The Middle Passage was the middle leg of a voyage that starts in Europe. The first passage is from Europe to Africa. The Middle Passage is the journey from Africa to America. And then the third passage is the journey back from America to Europe.
The Middle Passage could take anywhere from 2 to 3 months. Men and women were separated. Men typically were held in the lower belly of the ship. The roof, if you would, was quite low, probably about 4 feet high. So people couldn't stand. African men were shackled together, and they were packed so closely together in a spoon-like position. And they would stay like that for pretty much the entire journey.
You're talking about hundreds of people. You're at 120 degrees. It smells terrible. There are actually people dying around you, which has to be a traumatic experience for everybody on board.
Maybe 10% of voyages, we know there was some attempt to rise up, to kill the crew, to try to turn the boat around, to change their destinies. Historians have a hard time capturing what the Middle Passage must have felt like for enslaved men and women. It's a voyage that is deeply disorienting. It's a voyage to a place that you can't anticipate. You don't know what's going to happen to you. I don't think we have adequate words to capture that experience.
I know this ain't home, but it's where you gotta be. It's time your family pay Kunta.
All right, family. All right, I'm back. I'm back in this house. Man, I thank y'all for tuning in like that one more time. Let me try to share this link with y'all if I can, if they let me do it. Yeah, we're talking about this African slave trade in the Middle Passage. Okay, let me share this in there with y'all right fast, family. Yeah, I'm trying to multitask. Yeah, let me get into it. Let me take these earphones off of here so I can hear myself think here. But let me get this out of the way. But yeah, but that's what they're teaching, man. But we're going into this. Now, look at this thing, this rapper B.O.B. He made this statement, family. I just saw this, and people were commenting on it on Facebook. And I've been trying to get away from all of this stuff, man. God, digging it down. But it's hard to. It's hard to get away from it. But we got to set the record straight on this because you know what, family? We see that they are trying to change the history books already. We can't allow people to keep propagating and teaching that things like this didn't happen because y'all don't never see the so-called Jews talking about the Holocaust didn't happen. You just don't see that. They don't go in here and try to change the numbers when they say that millions of people. Peace to my sister Angela. Peace to you, sister. Y'all don't never hear them saying that the numbers when they said millions of people died in the Holocaust, they died in the gas chambers. Never do you hear them come out and dispute. Well, it didn't happen like that. It wasn't. And it was a lot of us died in the gas chambers. You don't hear them say that. The so-called Jews, they are still looking for German soldiers and people who was involved in the Jewish Holocaust. They're still looking for those people who was involved and still persecuting and prosecuting. Everybody had something to do with the Jewish Holocaust. They still doing it. But it's crazy, man, that we have people of our community and people supposed to be of melanated, descent or whatever. We want to talk about the slave trade didn't happen like they say they lying. Or we would say it didn't even exist. We have some people talking about that there was a black man who even started the chattel slavery in America, which is another fabricated lie. It's crazy, family. The things that we would say and do to ourselves and what we're teaching to ourselves. Like I said, man, look, and we even got people now that's teaching that, and we're allowing this to happen because we got Barack Obama said it, y'all favorite damn president who said it. Let me shut up before I get kicked off. Barack Obama who said it. What was his name? Eric Holder, and we recently had Ben Carson. They're teaching that we came over here to America, our ancestors, as a migrant. We migrated over here on ships. Well, we was immigrants, I would say that. We immigrated over here and came over here on not slave ships, but ships. They don't teach about that we came over here as slaves or nothing. They saying we willingly came over here to work and build up America. This is what they're teaching. So when we have people saying that it didn't happen because they can't find the ships, now we got people somehow we came over here as migrants and immigrants and all of this bull. Family, if we don't watch this here, and we don't watch it, and we don't keep trying to set the record straight on this, y'all know what's going to happen. It's going to be years from now. Our babies just growing up, they're not going to know anything about what happened. They're going to actually believe in this lie that they're teaching and they're telling. That's why they changing the history books. They tearing down all the Confederate statues and monuments, and they're rewriting the history books. I've told y'all before, in Texas, they're actually rewriting the history books. They changing it, and they're taking slavery out of the books in Texas. They taking out all about the slavery. They talking about the Civil War. Didn't have nothing to do about freeing no slave. It was about economics, in which it was about a lot of other stuff. What was happening between the states. It didn't have nothing to do with slavery. They taking out the Klan in the history books. They taking out all of that stuff. They cleaning the slate where you won't even know anything about it, and you will think that you came over here if you let them keep putting this lie out. They're gonna tell you you volunteered to get on the damn boat and came over here to work and build this land up. That's what they're gonna keep on if we allow this to happen. So this whole thing right here, let me get into this right fast. The rapper B.O.B. claims that slavery in America never existed because he never seen a slave ship. Damn, he never seen the slave ship. Let's go on, man. That's crazy. And I'm not speak on that. Peace, my sister. Peace to Shonda Harris. Peace to you. And Granny Zell's creation. Peace to you. And this a brother now who believe in this flat earth theory as well. He believe in the flat earth theory. Yeah. But he says here, the U.S. rapper, who is B.O.B., is advocating that the belief based on the fact that he never seen a slave ship. Let me see. I got to go on. And then he posted some on Instagram. I'm going to skip all that stuff. And he posted some on Instagram. And here's what, and I said that this is what he actually had on Instagram. And he posted a picture. Now it had, and then when I made this statement on Facebook the other day, somebody want to get mad. It was one of the Moors who got mad. I'm not trying to beat up on the Moors, but I said this is where this stuff coming from. And I got a video that I'm going to play where y'all going to hear it for yourself with a Moor who's saying it. I'm gonna play the video. I got the information tonight. I'm gonna play tonight. I'm gonna let y'all hear this. It ain't gonna be from the mouth of Sunray. I got a couple of clips. I'm gonna let y'all hear it for yourself. And I'm gonna play this one. I'm gonna play it right after this. But on his photo, or I guess it was his Instagram picture that he posted, he had a brother in a fez. Y'all know who wear the fez is. Not the Shriners, but the red fez. We know who in the community wear these red, crimson color fezes, right? And on that post he had right here, he said, they say slavery lasted 400 years. America is only 250 years old. You never ever seen a slave ship. They can find a billion-year-old dinosaur bone, but they can't find any slave ship. Then he had hashtag Asir Duke of Tears. Y'all know who that is? Probably y'all don't know. He had a show on Blog Talk called Super Heru, and actually we had the privilege to do an interview, and the brother came on our show on Culture Freedom Radio on Blog Talk once or twice. So very good brother, but some of the stuff that they teach, man, it's neither here nor there. Y'all have to listen to it. But he had hashtag Asir Duke of Tears. And but he says slavery is not in my DNA. Slavery is not in his DNA. Okay, that's cool. But let's go over this right fast. He said they say slavery lasted 400 years, but America is only 250 years. They never seen a slave ship. Okay, let me stop right there. That's all I need to see. That's all I see. But remember this crimson color feds, if y'all know, y'all probably seen the post that was going around, and they showed this picture on there. I remember that brother. I think he actually wrote a book called What They Didn't Tell You in History Class. I can't recall his name. I think it's that same brother. I watched that video and I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. But let's go with this right here fast. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Now, he said that slavery couldn't have lasted 400 years because America is only 250 years. Now, he's right. America is young. Yeah, he's right. Oh, but he's wrong at the same goddamn time. Now, if he's trying to equate that it couldn't have been 400 years because America is 250 years, he didn't go to school. I don't know. He was sleeping in class. Well, hell, I did too. But let's check it now. When I say he's right, because when they start counting America, as being a country, is when they had the Declaration of Independence. That's why they celebrate Declarations of Independence. Where everybody having their damn barbecues, where you black, white, turquoise, green, it don't make no difference. When they celebrate this thing called the Independence Day, the 4th of July, July the 4th, 1776, that's when they signed this Constitution. And they said that they freed, y'all remember this, I know y'all remember this, because they was under British rule at the time. Them 13 ruling colonies, they was under the British rule. And they had at first, let's go to the history. They had at first, it wasn't the United States Constitution. What did they have at first? It was the Article of Confederation. Look it up, y'all. It was the Article of Confederation first. It wasn't the United States Constitution. The Article of Confederation. Please, y'all, look that up. Then after 1776, that's when they so-called founding fathers, not mine, but their so-called founding fathers came up and signed this thing called the Declaration of Independence because they declared their independence from Britain. Y'all remember the Boston Tea Party, all of this stuff, because Britain was charging them folks out the frame with those taxes. So this is why they wanted their independence. So this when America became an independent state, and that's actually when it actually became America. It became America because it became independent. So he right. Well, so if you count that 1776 through 2017, where we at now, you would have 241 years. Supposed to be 241. I might have added it wrong somewhere. But it is a young country. It is 200. But you got to start about when they signed that Constitution. But they had everything set up. They had the Continental Congress before they came up with all what they have now. Do the research, do the history. Because slavery had been, now they talk about the English and the British, but y'all got to go back to the 1400s. See, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad started teaching about John Hawkins in 1555. That's what he talked about, John Hawkins. But you got to go back to the 1400s, where you had the Portuguese that was already coming over here in the 1400s, bringing so-called slaves into America. See, that's the history that we missing. That's what we missing. We deal with the Europeans. And we deal with the Britons and Spain and the Englishmen, but we missing the Portuguese. That's how y'all missing that 1400 some years, because it started in the 1400s and go back to the 1800s. Y'all add that up, and I got a clip that's going to actually show you. And I got a couple of clips with some white folks on here teaching y'all to talk, well, not teaching y'all, but talking about the history. But they say that they didn't find no slave ships. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's just play the game. Let's play the game right fast. You can't find no slave ships. I feel you. I ain't seen none either, other than in pictures. And see, y'all see my background, the slave ships. Y'all see in there with the people, the our sisters and brothers, ancestors in that middle part. They got the top deck, and y'all see the middle deck, and in the back, you see in the back. Let me see here, right here. You see that's what they were at. At the top, that's the top deck. The bottom here, that's where they kept the supplies and all of that stuff. But y'all see how in there. That's not the actual ship now. That's not a ship that I made. It's not a ship behind me, actually, a real ship. That's just my background. I know y'all know that. Peace, my brother James. Peace to you, salute, comrade. But here's we go. Let's play the game. Let's play the game right fast. Didn't find no ships. Okay, let me ask them, brother, that y'all that teach this history like that. There was some Vikings. There was a people called the Vikings, the Nordics. They were called Vikings. They were selling the seas. Where are they ships? Ask them where they ships at. I ain't seen no Viking ships. Where they ships? They just, you know what? Yes, they did. Yes, they do. I missed it though. I didn't get a chance to go there. Memphis just had a Viking. What was it? Exhibit here about a couple of weeks ago. Damn, I wish I had known this. I should have went down there. But they had a whole bunch of ships. And I heard it on the radio. I remember them talking about it, and somebody called in to one of the local radio stations, and they said they had down on the Mississippi River where they had the Memphis Queen, and they have other boats down there, and they was talking about they had a lot of slave ships. Not a slave ships, my bad, y'all. A lot of Viking ships down on the river. I don't know if they was authentic or what now. I'm not sure, but somebody was saying that, and they had a lot of people dressed as Vikings and everything that was down on the Mississippi River. Damn, I wish I could have went down there. But anyway, where are they ships? What are Viking ships? Forget about the slave ships. What about the Viking ships? Okay, let's talk about Christopher Columbus. Now, they say Christopher Columbus came over here. He sailed to all of these different places, to the West Indies. He sailed over this place. He sailed over this place. Where's Christopher Columbus' ship? They talk about him. So where's his ship? See, we ain't disputing this. Now, we might say he didn't discover America, but that's a lie, too. See, we talk about he didn't discover America. Uh-oh, y'all. Hope I didn't get cut off. They say he didn't discover America. Is that true? Because they said that we dispute the word discover. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I didn't get cut off, family. Okay. I think I'm back on. My phone just got cut off. But they say he didn't discover America. You look up the word discover and look up the definition of the word discover. The word discover means to find. So we argue about he didn't discover America, but I'm not here to take up for Columbus. But anyway, where is Columbus' ship? Where's Columbus' ship at? We ain't disputing that about he didn't. We ain't disputing the part that he didn't discover America because we don't find no ship. It's crazy as hell. It's crazy as hell. There's a lot of things we don't find. Now, here's what they'll do. They brought up, and I've seen this too. I've seen them do this. They said, well, it couldn't have been no transatlantic slave ship. We can't find no ships, but they'll go to Kemet and find the boat that they got in Kemet with who was it? I think it was Amun-Re. I think it was. I can't remember off the top of my head. They found the ship in Egypt and they got it in the museum, British Museum somewhere, where they got a ship from Egypt, a Kemet. They said, well, if they can find the boat in Kemet, how come they can't find the slave ships? A boat that existed 5,000, 10,000 years ago, how come they can't find a slave ship? See, that's what they do. They give you that comparison. It's crazy as hell because we don't find a boat. There's brothers in jail right now in prison serving life sentences, probably on death row, 30 to 40 years or something. They never found evidence that they committed a crime, but they in jail. They in jail right now. I've heard a case where somebody was convicted of murder, never found the body, never found the gun, but they was convicted of murder. They in jail right now. I wish you would tell them that. I wish you would tell them you shouldn't be in jail for murder because there ain't nobody. Witnesses just said that you killed somebody. There's nobody. There's nobody. Let me see. Let me go here. Which way did I go, George? Which go to that? Let me play this one right here. Let me play this clip right fast. I'll be right back. Let me play this clip right fast, family.
Slavery the treatment of human beings as property, deprived of personal rights, has occurred in many forms throughout the world. But one institution stands out for both its global scale and its lasting legacy: the Atlantic slave trade, occurring from the late 15th to the mid-19th century and spanning 3 continents, forcibly brought more than 10 million Africans to the Americas. The impact it would leave affected not only these slaves and their descendants, but the economies and histories of large parts of the world. There had been centuries of contact between Europe and Africa via the Mediterranean, but the Atlantic slave trade began in the late 1400s with Portuguese colonies in West Africa and Spanish settlement of the Americas shortly after. The crops grown in the new colonies, sugarcane, tobacco, and cotton, were labor-intensive, and there were not enough settlers or indentured servants to cultivate.
Hold, fella, let me do something. Let me bag this up. I missed my cue. Because he see what he got on there. Uh-oh. There was a part I want to show the date that they had. Let me find it right fast. There we go. See that? Well, you talked about the 1400s. The 1400s to the 1800s. Add that up and see what number you come up with. Don't you come up with 400 years? And he's gonna say 15 right in this part in the mid 1500, but later on he's gonna say the 1400. They're giving you the history. Let's go. Let me jump back into it. My bad.
Continents forcibly brought more than 10 million Africans to the Americas. The impact it would leave affected not only these slaves and their descendants, but the economies and histories of large parts of the world. There had been centuries of contact between Europe and Africa via the Mediterranean, but the Atlantic slave trade began in the late 1400s with Portuguese colonies in West Africa and Spanish settlement of the Americas shortly after. The crops grown in the new colonies, sugarcane, tobacco, and cotton, were labor-intensive, and there were not enough settlers or indentured servants to cultivate all the new land. American natives were enslaved, but many died from new diseases, while others effectively resisted. And so, to meet the massive demand for labor, the Europeans looked to Africa. African slavery had existed for centuries in various forms. Some slaves were indentured servants, with a limited term and the chance to buy one's freedom. Others were more like European serfs. In some societies, slaves could be part of a master's family, own land, and even rise to positions of power. But when white captains came offering manufactured goods, weapons, and rum for slaves, African kings and merchants had little reason to hesitate. They viewed the people they sold not as fellow Africans, but criminals, debtors, or prisoners of war from rival tribes. By selling them, kings enriched their own realms and strengthened them against neighboring enemies. African kingdoms prospered from the slave trade, but meeting the Europeans' massive demand created intense competition. Slavery replaced other criminal sentences, and capturing slaves became a motivation for war rather than its result. To defend themselves from slave raids, neighboring kingdoms needed European firearms, which they also bought with slaves. The slave trade had become an arms race, altering societies and economies across the continent. As for the slaves themselves, they faced unimaginable brutality. After being marched to slave forts on the coast, shaved to prevent lice, and branded, they were loaded onto ships bound for the Americas. About 20% of them would never see land again. Most captains of the day were tight packers, cramming as many men as possible below deck. While the lack of sanitation caused many to die of disease, and others were thrown overboard for being sick or as discipline, the captains ensured their profits by cutting off slaves' ears as proof of purchase. Some captives took matters into their own hands. Many inland Africans had never seen whites before and thought them to be cannibals, constantly taking people away and returning for more. Afraid of being eaten, or just to avoid further suffering, they committed suicide or starved themselves, believing that in death their souls would return home. Those who survived were completely dehumanized, treated as mere cargo. Women and children were kept above deck and abused by the crew, while the men were made to perform dances in order to keep them exercised and curb rebellion. What happened to those Africans who reached the New World and how the legacy of slavery still affects their descendants today is fairly well known. But what is not often discussed is the effect that the Atlantic slave trade had on Africa's future. Not only did the continent lose tens of millions of its able-bodied population, but because most of the slaves taken were men, the long-term demographic effect was even greater. When the slave trade was finally outlawed in the Americas and Europe, the African kingdoms whose economies it had come to dominate collapsed, leaving them open to conquest and colonization. And the increased competition and influx of European weapons fueled warfare and instability that continues to this day. The Atlantic slave trade also contributed to the development of racist ideology. Most African slavery had no deeper reason than legal punishment or intertribal warfare, but the Europeans who preached a universal religion and who had long ago outlawed enslaving fellow Christians needed justification for a practice so obviously at odds with their ideals of equality. So they claimed that Africans were biologically inferior and destined to be slaves, making great efforts to justify this theory. Thus, slavery in Europe and the Americas acquired a racial basis, making it impossible for slaves and their future descendants to attain equal status in society. In all of these ways, the Atlantic slave trade was an injustice on a massive scale, whose impact has continued long after its abolition.
Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about right there. And some of the history that you talk about, now y'all say, wow, that's a damn cracker. Well, let me shut up because I don't want to get cut off. That's a white boy telling our history. Y'all read for yourself. Read and study for yourself. You ain't got to listen to them. You ain't got to listen to this one. I'm going to give y'all a book, man. Great book. Right here. This is a great book. Uh-oh. Let me see, can I get it in there? Focus so y'all can see it. There we go. Check this book out. Look it up. The History of West Africa. Great book. Get that book, man. Let me show y'all can see it. It's a good book. Just talk about the West Africa, too, and about the slave trade and a lot of the stuff in here. Now, and you know, we used to hear this stuff, man, about how, you know, like it was a lot of Africans who sold Africans. And we're like, man, see, that's the Europeans just trying to teach that, man, and try to cause division amongst us. No, these things actually happen, man. You know, and I said that too. I used to teach that, man, because I didn't want to hear that. But it is, man. See, we really want to propagate that we always got along with each other, and it's just something new today that while we don't get along with each other, that's nothing new. That's an age-old thing. And a lot of this stuff, man, in the ancient world, man, slavery, man, y'all look it up, man. A lot of people had slavery, indigenous servitude, and all of this type of stuff that was going on. So, and with that, man, it was a lot of stuff that goes on in this book, a whole chapter in this book, The History of West Africa, that it talks about what happened in there. Dealing with the slave trade and so what for. Let me read a little bit, right? Because I got a couple more clips I'm going to play. And I want to give y'all something, man, with where some of this stuff give y'all proof of people teaching this stuff that it couldn't existed. One of the well-known scholars, or I ain't gonna say scholars, speakers, should I say that's in this is what they call the conscious community, that propagate a lot of this stuff. It couldn't have happened. And I'm gonna read something. I'm gonna play a clip on here. I want them to say it for themselves. I want y'all to see it for them, y'all self. Let it come out of their mouth, not Brother Sunbury's mouth. But here's some of this from this book. It says, majority of Africans, of course, gained from this, the trade, talking about the slave trade. These were the kings, chief, and rich merchants who went into the trade as dealers. They built up their prosperity of their towns and cities and states, just as the Europeans' partners brought new wealth to the ports and cities of Western Europe. Yet even they suffered from the dangers and risks of the slave trade, and although the transition could not be made without much difficulties and adjustments, they quickly made swiftly made swift to other forms of business when the Europeans and Americans demanded for slaves to come after 1807, step by step to end. See, it says other consequences, perhaps even more sinister or serious, were felt in the fields of politics. The results equally or especially from the very large imports of guns and gunpowder. How y'all think they started getting, them Africans started getting all of these guns? See, it was a lot of stuff that was going on with the trade. Like I said, slavery was actually a business. It was a lot of the stuff that went on that had to do with barter and trade. Let me give y'all some, like I said, this is a great book. Give y'all some books to get. This is a great one. Y'all already know. Since we talking about slavery and this is, get these brothers some of these books, man. Quit listening to some of these fools out here. That's our good brother right there. I know it's kind of messed up, y'all, because I got the background, so it's kind of fade in. But the Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust by our great elder, Brother John Henry Clark, great elder scholar in the field of studies. They came before Columbus. They came before Columbus, the African presence in ancient America. Let me touch on that one right fast, because they mentioned it in the clip. See, and here's why they saying a lot of this stuff too, because they're teaching that slavery couldn't existed. Oh, let me see it. This is one I got. I hadn't got a chance to really get into it yet. Yeah, this is a great book, all about slavery. Great book. So get that one, family. Y'all thinking y'all forgot that book, find that one. It's like $15. Well, it was like $15. Check that out on eBay somewhere. But anyway, family, what they're saying is, why they saying it couldn't exist, because even in the clip, he kind of mentioned it. Now, a lot of brothers want to teach that, and I'm not disputing that, because I understand this book right here, they came before Columbus. It's saying that a lot of us was already here in America. That's why they fabricating a lot of the numbers that was happening with slavery, because they said a lot of us was already over here. We was indigenous over here to this land, so they lying about us coming from Africa to America. They said that they was actually taking us from America and indigenous people from America, then taking us to Europe and then bringing us back. Wait a minute. If y'all can teach that they had ships to take us from America to Europe and then bring us back, see, y'all, you confusing, because you said they don't have no damn ships. So how did we come from here, taking indigenous people from America to go to Europe and then go to Africa and then bring us back from Africa to America and then say, see, y'all originally came from Africa? That's a waste of damn time. Boy, you did a lot of that just to fool the people, to say they from Africa, and when they actually from here. That's what some of the people teach. They took us way to Europe, then brought us to Africa, then brought us back and said that's where y'all came from. That don't make no damn sense, man. That's a lot of traveling months, years to do just to trick of people and say you not from this land. Look, you can take a dog down the damn street somewhere and drop him off or whatever. That dog got sense enough to find his way home. He gonna know where he came from. Man, people go overseas now and be gone for years, months. They still know where they came from. Y'all got to say that we were some ignorant damn people to understand, not to know out of going way over there and then coming back that we didn't know that we was from here. Come on, man. But like I said, where the ships at then? Where the old ships at? See, y'all saying it couldn't happen because of the ships. Where are those ships? If that's your theory, and even in that article, when the guy B.O.B. was saying, that's a lot of gas. That's a lot of gas. Hell yeah. I don't know what they had back then, gas or rowing. Man, that was a lot of arm work, boy. It was some strong fools back then, Jack. First there was a lot of gas, and I know that everybody didn't have 5 on it. You said I got 5 on it. Everybody can put in on that gas, there, boy. And they were talking about B.O.B. when he made this statement, right? They said a lot of people was commenting on him. They said you think you are woke, but you're really a dumbass. They said the other word. I don't want to get into that. And they said there was a third person that commented, that's the dumbest thought ever. You can't be serious. Yeah, he couldn't be serious. But you know what? Somebody might be putting him up to say that crazy stuff, though. They putting him up to say this crazy, silly stuff. Let me find this other clip right fast. I want to give y'all somebody else. I'm going to give y'all this person out here. He's a famous person in the so-called conscious community. that's teaching this stuff. Where is that? Okay, that's teaching this stuff. Now the video probably don't have this great quality on it. It's an older video, but I'm gonna give y'all this one. I'm gonna tell y'all who it is before I play it. Taj Tariq Bey. I don't want to get in trouble. Moors, don't come beat me up. Don't beat me up. I'm just trying to clear the record. I'm just trying to straighten out some of this stuff. Because y'all teaching this bullshiggity. People are getting this stuff, and y'all are helping to erase the history of a people, of a great people, and what we did. I'm not saying, and I got off track. And I'm not saying that we wasn't here. That's true. Listen what he said. That there were people, they enslaved the indigenous people here. I got to go back because I got off track, y'all. My bad. They enslaved the indigenous people here. So they acknowledge that there was indigenous people here. That's in the records. That's in books. I got a lot of history books, man, that make that claim, that make that statement. Here's another great book, family. Here's another great book, Encyclopedia World History. Great book. Anything, man, goes into a lot of, and then it has a website just not by this. Every page you go to and you look up stuff, it has where you can go to the website and you can go more in depth in what the book has. This is one on the slave trade. It go through all history. I don't give a damn, going back to even with the dinosaurs. Hell, it's all in there. All the world history. You can get it online. Let me get y'all this one more time. Get it online, the book, and it's like $39. It's like $39 for the book. Great though, great. Since we want to be historians and we want to get knowledge of self, that's a great book going into all kind of history. But get back on track, Sunray. Get back on track. They make the claim. People are making the claim that we was already here in America, right, before the Europeans came. No argument there. I agree with that. And so they said they enslaved the indigenous people that was already here first. That's true. And listen what they said. They enslaved them first, but they were dying out. They couldn't take the workload. So they couldn't take the workload, so they had to look to the Africans, and then they go get the Africans. That's in a lot of the books they say this. So wait a minute. So that would mean a lot of us who say that we are melanated beings, that would damn near say some of us are weaker than others or genetically weaker than others. That ain't what the Europeans say. Even the Europeans say that they are genetically weaker than us. That's what the Europeans say. They say they are genetically weaker than us. So you mean to tell me that some of us that was indigenous over here, we were weaker than the Africans that's over there? Since we was already over here. And that's what they say. And y'all don't want to be Africans, but y'all got to understand, even they say that, and even with this book, it talks about that how a lot of us, we came over here in America, and not just this book with Ida Van Sertima, but a lot of the history. It talks about that we came over here thousands of years. Some say even 30,000 years or more or longer. How we came across this thing they call the Bering Strait. We walked across before the continental drift. All the lands had the continental drift. They talk about what it was the lands were connected. Y'all remember they talked about this thing called Pangea, but they trying to say that a lot of people coming through the Asiatic region walked across this thing called the Bering Strait out of the Asia region, and they trying to say it was the Asiatic people. And they came up through Alaska and then came down. They walked across through Asia and walked across and came through Alaska and then came down. So they trying to say that's how the native people here, or they trying to say indigenous people. Because you do look at some of them, they do how they show the pictures of some of them now. They do have that Asiatic look, and what they call the Eskimos and all that. They got that Asiatic look to them, like Japanese, Chinese, and all of that stuff with the tight eyes and all that. So they got that what they used to call a Mangaloid. They got that Mangaloid features. But that's what they say. But so it was people over here thousands of years, not 1,000, but thousands of years. We have no argument with that. But so we want to make it like, it couldn't have happened. The slave trade couldn't have happened because people was already over here. That's true. But here, here's something I got to say. Let me get into this. This Taj Tariq Bey. Y'all pay attention to what this fool said.
And this is, again, why President Obama, got on some of those Europeans that have been talking trash lately about everybody else's identity who comes to this land. and he had to remind them that they're foreigners. You know, in a what you call a diplomatic way, because they're foreigners, and they're the only foreigners here. Do you understand? The problem with our people is that our people don't know that too, because they've been their property. And because they've been their property, they've been miseducated by them. And so they are under the idea that these people who thought the world was flat brought them from someplace else. You know, somebody who knows that thinks the world is flat does not move millions of people anywhere. After all, they thought dolphins were monsters. You know, if you was a captain of the ship and you took them Europeans 20 feet off the shore and they seen a dolphin, you was in trouble. Don't let them see a whale. They can kill you. Turn back, fly back, swim back, however, you're going back. You know, so when people think that they, you know, transported millions and millions of people to the West and all, that's reconstructed history. And logistics, you know, like for instance, anybody that knows fundamental logistics, anybody knows anything about fishing? Anybody been fishing? Anybody been on boats? Little boats? Big boats? All right. Now, common sense. For instance, like say if you were going fishing, right? And you're going fishing, like say in the morning. And it's not winter time. You know, summertime, spring, like that, right? You know, and I know, as soon as you get about 50 yards to more off the shore, it starts getting cold. Right or wrong? So even in the summertime, if you're fishing in deep water, you wear thick clothes just like if you're in the wintertime. Why? Because you will get sick. Right? And yet they convinced these people that they had people naked, chained together, and you know steel's cold, draws heat. Chained together like sardines on 4 floors, on ships, for 3.5 months. That's coming from season to season across the Atlantic and brought down to shores or ports that didn't exist in the millions. And that's how we got here. That's the story. And people bought it. Anybody that knows anything about shipping,
hold up. Y'all heard that? Let me play it back. Let me go back. So y'all won't think I'm lying. This Taj Sharik Bey. Y'all heard what he said now. Let me go back. Here we go.
Like sardines on 4 floors.
Let me go back one more.
You wear thick clothes just like if you're in the wintertime. Why? Because you will get sick. Right? And yet they convinced these people that they had people naked, chained together, and you know steel's cold, draws heat. Chained together like sardines on 4 floors, on ships, for 3.5 months. That's coming from season to season across the Atlantic and brought down to shores or ports that didn't exist in the millions. And that's how we got here. That's the story. And people bought it. Anybody that knows anything about shipping, etc., already knows that to have any what you call stable shipping, we're talking even small boats, we ain't even talking shipping, that you must have organized ports. You've got to pull them ships out and you've got to clean the hull, particularly if it's wood. And you're not going to be on no water for 3 and 4 months and sailing anywhere unless you have some kind of system where they clean them hulls, because them mollusks and everything will clog that ship and it will be floating nowhere. The other issue is logistically. Water is your heaviest and most unstable of the 4 major elements, right? So that means also you would need technology to desalinate water, which means sophisticated machinery. Although it's not new to us, basically. Europeans didn't know anything about no desalinization. Matter of fact, they didn't even know how to preserve food. They ate crackers with wet worms in it, and they just used the worms for flavor. Because they didn't know how to preserve, for real. You know, like the worms, hey, well, it's just their raisins or whatever. No, that's how they work. Because they didn't even know how to preserve food. And you already know that you can't drink salt water. It will kill you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Now, they would need more water in those ships. And keep in mind, on top of the water would have to be at the base of the ship where they need ballast, particularly for deep water, seas or ocean vessels. Right? All right. And then it would have to be in what you call control chambers so that it wouldn't flip the ship. Because it certainly would. You know, so without even getting into what you call the technical engineering, anybody that knows any logistics at all knows that the so-called diaspora is a fraud. The only people who would buy it is people who think that Santa Claus, you know, they're going to sue Santa Claus because they rode in 10 years and they ain't got a bike yet, so they're going to sue Santa Claus. And it's the same principle, you know. So one thing that we need to do is start using our reasoning power and logistics. Then I'm going to read Resolution 75, which is...
All right, family. That's enough of that damn foolishness. But y'all heard it. I didn't make that up. Y'all heard it. I did not make that up. That's Taj Tariq Bey who said that. And even when y'all look at that brother's post, B.O.B., that rapper, and his Instagram post or whatever post that was, he has on the one of the brothers in the feds. So when I made that statement on Facebook the other day, when somebody posted it up there, and I made that statement, I said, man, that's some of the damn foolish teaching that the Moors teach. Y'all get mad at me, Moors, if y'all want. I ain't trying to beat up on y'all, but I'm just trying to say that's where it came from. See, that's where y'all heard him. Taraj Tariq Bey is y'all #1 scholar in the conscious community that deal with the Moors thing, the doctrine. And he said it. There's a lot of more that's saying this. He said it, and on that picture, B.O.B., they had this brother who wrote that book, What They Did Not Tell You in History Class. They had his picture up there and him making that statement. Now, listen what Taj Tariq Bey said, that people who believe that the earth was flat couldn't have brought you over here on ships like that and did that. But the brother B.O.B. said he believed in the flat earth theory. So, damn, something wrong. Okay, and I was intending to get this clip too. So like I said, number one, they couldn't have did all that, right, to bring millions of slaves over here. And it wasn't all at once because it was over a period of time. Over a period from the 1400s all the way, you know, to the 1800s and all this. Hell, they was bringing thousands. And the numbers would add up. It would add up later on, man. Hell, they wasn't like bringing people at one time. It's just like what they saying that there were millions of people that was killed in a Jewish Holocaust. Nobody disputing those numbers. But why do we got to dispute our numbers? And we'll say it couldn't have happened because the numbers. We dispute it, but we know that it had happened. They say that the African slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade was the most documented slave trade ever. Let me see here. Even brother John Henry Clark says it in this book right here, The Christopher Columbus and African Holocaust. He even has it in here where he stated on chapter 5. Oh, y'all can't see it though. My bad. The slave trade. How and why did it start? He said it right here. He said to understand the African slave trade, we must understand slavery as an institution almost as old as human society. Every people, sometime or another, have had slaves. In fact, Europeans, even enslaved Europeans, much longer than the period they enslaved Africans. Slave was a permanent feature in the ancient world in Kemet, Kush, and Rome. He said the African slave period is the most known to us because it is the best documented. It was the best documented slave trade. So people are saying it couldn't have existed. They just have a theory it couldn't have existed because of some damn ships. The boats? Are y'all serious, man? Just because some boats? Okay, let's take it here. After the Civil War, right? After the Civil War, y'all gonna do y'all research on this one. Y'all probably don't give a damn about this one, but we're just trying to figure out this boat thing, because that's what they making a premise off of, the boat. Don't y'all know they have, after the Civil War ended, there was a lot of people, Confederates, right? Don't y'all know that they fled? They lost the war. You know, we already know that history. And they fled to Brazil. Y'all know there's a lot of Confederates that live in Brazil. Yeah, Southern Confederates. They live in Brazil now. And every year they have a celebration, a Confederate celebration. They dress up in the old Confederates uniform, and they have a commemoration of the Civil War and all of this stuff in Brazil. So y'all wonder why a lot of racism is happening in Brazil, huh? We got to wonder why. We should know why. Go look it up. Look up Confederate in Brazil and you will see it. So after the Civil War, how did they get way down there? How did they get there? They damn sure didn't walk across all that water. So tell me, how did they get there? So what are they ships at? Since we're going to talk about ships, where are they ships? That's what we asked it. Where are the ships? It couldn't exist because of the ships. Damn. Look, there's some history that talks about as well. They came before Columbus, and they talked about the Olmecs. Y'all remember the Olmecs, right? They talked about the Olmec and Mansa Musa. There's some of the history that talks about this. Mansa Musa and the Olmecs. They said that that Mansa Musa them was even coming down and going to Valencia, Mexico. Y'all know about the Olmec heads and stuff, right? And in Valencia, Mexico. They said that Mansa Musa and all of them, they went and they actually did some selling and went down there. And because they saying a lot of those people were actually Nubians. And y'all look at the features with those statues and stuff, this and that, what they call the Olmec head. They said that a lot of them, they sell, and they were selling and going in and doing a lot of trading and stuff at that time, thousands of years. That's even before the Europeans even came over here to these shores in America. That's history on that. So where are they boats? Since we're gonna make everything about boats. So how are they getting over here? Where are they boats at? See, that's crazy as hell. We want to deny something happening because we don't have boats, man. We don't have evidence. Like I told y'all, man, go and study some damn cases that's here in America right now where people going to jail without any evidence. So if that's y'all reasoning because you said we don't have the evidence of the boat, why are there brothers that's going to jail right now without any kind of evidence to convict them in the courts? They say you convicted of a probable cause. What's the cause? What's the probability of them going to jail? Huh? They got people in jail for murder, rape, all kind of stuff, and there's no damn evidence. And you talking about some damn boats. There's something that happened to a people in America. That's because you just want to hold on to being so-called indigenous. That's no problem. You can be indigenous here, but don't say something didn't happen to another people. If you want to say you were here, and some people said they was from Africa and their ancestors came over here, that's no problem. You can hold on to that because they teach that people were already over here. And hell, they said they enslaved y'all that was indigenous too. So hell, y'all had a piece of it. If you want to be a part of slavery, go ahead. They said they enslaved y'all too, but they said y'all were weaker. Y'all couldn't stand it. The African was much stronger than y'all. That's part of the history. So. And even to say, again, to straighten that out, what I said in the beginning, like the young brother said, it couldn't have happened no 400 some years because of the date. America's only 200 some years old. He said 250. Like I said, he had the date, he had the time period right about America, but he don't understand the whole makeup of America. See, a lot of people thinking, man, America just only came into existence when the Declaration of Independence. That's when America truly, that is when America, look at the title. Y'all got to look at titles and labels. That is truly when America did get started. What we calling the United, listen closely, the United States of America, when the states or the colonies came united as one. Listen, they got it. Listen to the damn lyric. Listen to the words. They telling you when they came to United States, not separate states, just like after the Civil War, before the Civil War, actually, when the states wanted to, because of slavery and the economics, when the South broke away from the Union, they were no longer the United States because they broke away and became their own, basically their own country. They talked about doing that during Obama era. They was talking about seceding away from the Union. They want to become their own country again. Texas, hell, keep talking about it a lot. They want us to seize from the Union. So they would have been separated. They would have been no longer the United States. Hell, if a couple of states, 5 states right now break away, it won't be the United States, because they're going to be on their own. They will have their own independent country right here in America on this same continent. They're not united anymore. They could break away, hell, if they want to. So that's when it happened. In July the 4th, 1776, when they founding fathers, like I said, they founding fathers, signed this thing called the Declaration of Independence, and it birthed a nation. The movie that came out, The Birth of a Nation, there was the birth of a nation called the United States of America, or America, whatever they want to label it, or y'all want to label it and call it. That's what it was. So it is a young country, according to when they signed the Declaration of Independence, because they broke away from Britain. But before then, man, it was already had things. The colonies was already here. What they tell y'all about the 13 original colonies? And see, George Washington, go and do y'all please do y'all damn history, man. Damn, I'm not even a history buff or into history. I goddamn can figure this stuff out. It's there. And even before that, we talked about the, like when I first came in the show, go and look up the before the Declaration of Independence. What they had before the Declaration of Independence. Y'all, anybody know? Huh? Well, I tell y'all. The Article of Confederation. Look it up. The Article of Confederation. Well, a lot of that stuff, they dropped it from the Article of Confederation, and they dropped it and put it into the Declaration of Independence. They already had a constitution and all of that. It wasn't probably like they wanted, because they was under the British rule. And then, you know, France, man, y'all, come on, man. They teach us this foolishness in school. They teach us this bull crap in school. Let me see. I got another clip as well. Like I said, I'm just giving y'all some clips, man, because I don't want y'all to think I'm just running my mouth talking about this stuff, man. But this is a lot of stuff, man, that we got to get rid of and start letting people tell us this stuff, man. Do our research. And here's something with the conscious community that we talk about, fam. Now, we'll get on the Christians. We'll get on the Christians. Well, say they don't, about their religion. We will say they do not follow or study their books. They just listen to the preacher. They listen to the preacher, and just whatever the preacher says, they just go along with it. They don't study their Bible. Well, I'm going to tell y'all, man, some of us, we do the same damn thing. We get on YouTube, watch a couple of videos, and we'll go out and regurgitate a lot of the stuff that we see on the videos. We don't go and do the research. We don't look for ourselves, or not a lot of the things that's being put out. It sound good to us because it fit our theory. It fit our philosophies that we want to fit into. And we will go ahead and we will propagate this stuff without even doing the damn research, further research. You know, it's cool to be in certain organizations. It's cool. It's fine. But don't research just to be researching what your organization teach you. That ain't cool. You got to be open-minded, man. Come on. How you going to be aware of, say, you woke and you ain't even got your mind open to look at stuff? Like I said, you got to be open-minded. Like we say, come out of the box. Step outside the goddamn box, man. Research. Study. Study. Come on, fam. Study. Let me play this other clip right fast, fam. Oh, I think I played the wrong one. Wrong selection, Son Ray. Wrong selection, Son Ray. Wrong selection, y'all. Wrong choir selection. Let me see. Where is that clip? I think that, where is it? I gotta find it, y'all. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Let me see. Damn, Son Ray. Can't get right. There we go, y'all. There we go.
Hey, Cypher here. There are a lot of misconceptions surrounding the institution of slavery, especially here in the United States. These myths often serve pernicious political purposes that can be highly detrimental to a proper conception of history. So here are 10 of those myths, debunked in no particular order. Since they aren't in a particular order, each one is fairly different from the other. So you should stick around, because the list goes all over the place. Just as an aside, I'm going to be focusing mostly on the US, because this is where the myths serve their most malignant political purpose. If you are someone who is offended by these facts, check my sources. As per usual, they are in the description.
Hold up, let me stop right there, fam. Let me stop right here, right fast. Now, check this out. This right here, what he's finna say, when you bring up slavery, right, to some of our so-called scholars in the community, and you bring up about slavery in America, what happened to us in the African Holocaust, some people will bring this up to you. They'll bring up about the Europeans were being enslaved and the Irish in here. So I'm letting the white folks say it for their own goddamn mouth. It ain't Bro Son Ray, but check this out, what he finna say, because I'm telling y'all gonna run across this too. When you bring up about the African Holocaust, what happened, some people gonna tell, well, it was more than just blacks got slaved in America. Listen what their own white people are trying to say. Check this out.
It's a common meme going around the internet. Anytime a Black Lives Matter issue comes up, I'll see people putting these up on Facebook. Well, these are all wrong. White slaves did exist, but not in the American colonies. Mostly on the Barbary Coast, where Muslim corsairs would capture and enslave whites. In the New World, the closest whites got to being enslaved was indentured servitude. Indentured servitude is a system in which one is forced to labor for a limited period of time. Sometimes there were cruel bosses, but there were many more laws protecting against cruel masters of indentured servants than slaves. And there was, in fact, a legal difference. Also, sometimes people were sentenced to indentured servitude for crimes they had committed. Their contracts could even be sold by owners. But generally, these contracts would only be for 5 to 20 years. Slavery, indentured servitude, was not. Some might call indentured servants sentenced to life slavery, but that would be like calling a modern prisoner sentenced to life a slave. That's just weird. This myth tends to focus on the Irish, who did in fact suffer tremendously under English rule. Some could be said to have been put into serfdom, but that was in the old world. In the new one, the closest they came to slavery was indentured servitude, and it was generally voluntary, not coerced. Nor were they treated more brutally than black slaves.
Oh, interesting.
The invention of slavery predates history itself. While it is generally incorrect to say that ancient Persian and Egyptian states practiced slavery, we know from their records that slavery existed in surrounding states. Furthermore, there is archaeological evidence that shows it was a common practice throughout the world, and nearly every place in the world had slavery at some point in its history or prehistory. Chattel slavery, as in the practice of hereditary race-based enslavement, was something that was practiced throughout the Middle East and Asian steppe for centuries prior to 1492. In fact, much of Islamic states practiced it until the fall of the Ottoman Empire in 1918, and some well after that. The last African country to abolish slavery was Mauritania, and it happened in 1981, and it is still a problem for many countries. Several countries, especially Mauritania, still have prominent illegal and de facto slavery. Since the government is unwilling to enforce its mandates against slavery, many people still hold slaves today. European empires, such as the Greeks and Romans, had practiced slavery and were crucial to their economies. The only real reason why they stopped was that the system of serfdom implemented after the Roman Empire made slavery kind of unnecessary for a while. No black man was the first slave owner in America, as internet memes are apt to say. The person they're referring to was...
Hold up, fam. I got to go back. My bad. Check this out. This is what they're teaching too, family. This is what some of these people out here teaching this one. That's why I really want y'all to pay attention to this. Look this up. They propagating this bull crap in our community too. Check this one out. Now, this is a so-called European, Caucasian, whatever, and he's saying this because we got our own people teaching us this crap right here. Check this one out.
No black man was the first slave owner in America, as internet memes are apt to say. The person they're referring to was an Angolan indentured servant named Anthony Johnson, who in turn came to own indentured servant contracts after he earned his freedom. He even had the first written record of refusing to accept the end of an indentured contract, thereby making the man named John Kacer a legal slave. But there had been slaves in that colony since before the Kacer lawsuit in 1655. African slaves were sold in 1634 there, and I'm not referring to indentured servants either. I mean straight up slaves. This is normally meant to show that slavery in the New World was colorblind, but that doesn't show it in the slightest. It had been racially based since the second voyage of Columbus. Spanish colonies had been practicing chattel slavery for over a century, including in Florida. It took a while for the racism to build up in the English colonies, but it did so, regardless of who owned the slaves. The Civil War was not initially fought to end slavery. Abraham Lincoln was very clear in 1862 by stating, "If I could save the Union without freeing any slave, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. And if I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that." The Emancipation Proclamation was not an easy decision on his part, for there were slave states fighting for the Union. But it was prompted by people like John C. Fremont declaring slaves emancipated under their own authority as military governors. It also gave a crucial purpose to the Union's fight, as people were becoming more and more disillusioned of the Civil War. Instead, the North fought to keep the Union intact. Ending secession was their chief motivation. Of course, the reason for secession in the first place is a bit different. Oh boy, is this a thorny issue. I've done an entire episode on the causes of the Civil War, but it is absolutely undeniable that slavery was a chief motivation for secession. In every document proclaiming secession, slavery is explicitly mentioned. This is part of lost cause revisionism. They try to say that slavery was a minor factor, and that the North had been trampling over the rights of the South as independent states. They bring up the 10th Amendment to the Constitution, which states that any power expressed by the Constitution would instead be given to the states, rather than the federal government. They call out that there was a tremendous difference in culture, and that tariffs were choking farmers. These were all factors for sure, but not the most important one. Lincoln being elected was, and the South's fear of his position on slavery made them secede. Everything else is peripheral to this one problem. If you want more on that, go watch the episode that I mentioned before. In 1860, the time of the last census before the Civil War, roughly 36% of freemen in the South owned slaves. That would seem insignificant, since they were in the minority overall. But as one article pointed out, that is roughly the same percentage of Americans with college degrees right now. It is not an insignificant number. Furthermore, the Southern social system was entirely dependent on their peculiar institution. So even if they were not slave owners, most were heavily entrenched in a way of life that was absolutely dependent on slavery. I've heard this from actual graduate students. Hell, Karl Marx made a similar argument in Das Kapital. It's that tired Marxist terminology of wage slavery.
We haven't been paid in 2 weeks and we want our wages.
Wages? You want to be wage slaves? Answer me that. No, of course not. Well, what makes wage slaves? Wages. I want you to be free.
But this is a false equivocation. As I pointed out in class back then, when one possesses different legal rights, it is impossible to say those same people are equal. Slaves had far less legal rights than white factory workers. In some states, they had no rights whatsoever. If a factory owner whipped their workers, they could be sued or even jailed for assault. As a side myth busting, Americans were far more likely to sue each other prior to World War I than ever since. Lawsuits were extraordinarily common in comparison to today. And that myth needs to go away because it is perpetrated by big businesses and benefits them only. Anyways, there were many business practices, such as chaining workers to their factory position, that were decidedly cruel, but that is nothing compared to what many slaves experienced. Now, it is also a myth that all slave owners were cruel and abusive. For many, slavery was not as unpleasant as movies like to make it out to be. After all, one had to keep slaves controlled, and love is often a far more potent force of coercion than fear. The various acts of rebellion that were prevalent throughout the history of slavery had to be curtailed somehow, and many masters were kind to their slaves. But the peculiar institution had a corrosive effect on anyone involved.
If they were so kind, here they let them go, so we don't want to hear that lie, y'all.
It is true that there were slaves who were forced to work for the Confederacy. There is no record of slaves voluntarily working for the Confederacy save for one particular instance. Towards the end of the Civil War, the Confederate Congress passed a bill that allowed for a slave regiment to be created. It was supposedly voluntary, but then again, so was their Conscription Act. And conscription, by no stretch of the definition, can be defined as voluntary. In either case, the regiment that was created never saw action, and was a divisive issue for the Confederates in general. The Colombian slave trade was created by Europeans, and the place that they received slaves was in West Africa. But unlike what is commonly conceived, they did not just go raiding inland with nets to grab up unsuspecting tribesmen. The African slave trade was predicated on Africans selling other Africans. It was a system already in place before Columbus arrived to take the first slaves to the New World in 1498. Like most slave institutions, it was created by capturing prisoners during warfare. Europeans had no need to kidnap Africans, like they show in movies all the time. Africans were already doing that for them. They developed an entire economy around that trade. This devastated Western Africa, which has yet to recover from the economic circumstances imposed by the transatlantic slave trade. That doesn't vindicate Europeans for their slave trading, of course. Two wrongs don't make a right, let alone how Europeans would encourage the trade through their economic incentives and political maneuvering in Africa. It was a lucrative business, after all. It just means that Africans were active participants in the trade and not only victims of it. First of all, slavery is still an ongoing issue. Many countries throughout the world have clear slavery, and not just coerced labor like Chinese factory workers. I mean, chattel slavery still exists.
We weren't allowed to be reporting on slavery. It's a practice the government tries to hide from outsiders. But as we would find, slavery is everywhere in Mauritania, if you know where to look.
It is illegal worldwide, but practiced anyways in a number of countries, so slavery has not ended. Furthermore, abolishment of slavery was not an invention of white people. The Qin dynasty were the first recorded abolitionists. They are the reason why we call that country China.
China, 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 China now.
And the first Chinese emperor was an abolitionist. Slavery fluctuated throughout world history. The idea that slavery is inherently wrong does not originate in Europe, nor is it particularly unique there. Abolition was also motivated by slave revolts. Slaves were not just docile servants, but often actively opposed their own enslavement. Slave revolts happened throughout the modern period, one of which culminated in the liberation of Haiti, long before most European countries abolished slavery. Even when they were forced into the most wretched conditions possible aboard ship on the Middle Passage, there were around 250 shipboard slave revolts. It was such a problem that slave ships often had barricades to defend themselves against such revolts. There's also a kind of disgusting side to claiming that whites freed the slaves. For how wonderful it is that the captors freed the captives. How nice of them to just decide on their own volition to stop oppressing people. This is a particularly pernicious myth, because it makes slaves objects rather than actors in their own right. as well as completely forgetting the Western powers were particularly egregious when it came to the abolition of slavery. All of these myths need to be stopped.
All right, family. All right. We back. Hey, that clip was entitled, man, 10 Common Slavery Myths. There's a lot of things that right there, man, y'all can check out. I just had to play that one, man. I had to play that one because it had some good points in it. One, let me go back to one of them, for instance. Anthony Johnson. Yeah. People teaching that Anthony Johnson. Let me stop. I really do appreciate everybody for tuning in right here tonight, man, for the Son of Ray 9 show brought to you by Culture Freedom Radio Network. Most definitely in the house. Most definitely appreciate y'all, man. Hey, this is just something for educational purposes, man. We got to clear the record, man. We got to set the record straight on people talking about the transatlantic slave trade or the slavery didn't happen because of they didn't find no ships, y'all. That's primarily what this is all about, because they said it didn't happen because they can't find the ship. Damn, police can't find evidence, but brothers locked up. But that's neither here nor there. Let me get back. Yeah, so they talked about Anthony Johnson. Somebody born in the 1600s started chattel slavery. Look, y'all just heard a so-called European or Englishman. I don't know what his nationality was, but hell, he didn't sound black to me. What we call black. Didn't sound like. Y'all heard what he said. That is a myth that's going around on the internet, and people are teaching this stuff. And I'm going to tell y'all, it's our people, so-called people, who teaching this stuff. And I got to see it, man. Can you see it? I don't know. This is Culture Freedom Radio, ain't it? Yeah. We known for always telling the damn truth. It's the people who calling themselves Moors just saying this, and not all of y'all. So don't get mad. Don't get mad at me. It's the ones who calling themselves the Moors primarily who teach this stuff. Yeah, I've heard it because people told me this. They're teaching about Anthony Johnson. I've had arguments with brothers about this stuff. Anthony Johnson, who started chattel slavery. We do anything to blame ourselves. It's the victim will blame himself for being the victim. It's like a woman who get raped, and she blame herself for getting raped. She walking out of the house getting ready to go to work, and some fool will walk up to her and snatch her and sexually assault her. But she gonna blame herself for getting sexually assaulted because she's trying to get ready to go to work and make a day's living, and some fool come up and rape her, but she blame herself. You the fault. You had fault for how you got raped. See, if you had stayed in the damn house, you wouldn't have never got raped. That's the kind of stuff that we trying to do when we say that a brother in the 1600s, but slavery was already over in America existing since the 1400s, the mid 1400s, and we would say that a brother the one started chattel slavery. See how crazy it is? See how crazy they telling us? That's why I said, family, y'all got to study. When brothers argue with you about that type of stuff, and then like I say, argue with you about the numbers, because they say America is not old enough, only 200 some years old. It ain't right, family. They not right in his act. Watch them like you tell a dog. Watch them, get them. That's what they do, fam. It's the lies. We got to stop this stuff, because and the whole importance. I can't emphasize this enough. Why we got to stop it? Why we got to stop them, Son Ray? Because our history is going to be wiped out like they already do. We talk about Kemet. Look how they are whitewashing, erasing your history over in Kemet. Those of us who love the Kemetic science, look what they're doing over there. They're taking the images, they repaint them, they making them out of the people that look other than you. Hell, all of our history, look what they are doing. So if we allow this stuff to keep happening, when our babies come up, and look at that brother, what was his what's his name? B.O.B. I think they say he's only 20-some years old. I forgot exactly. 28, 26, something like that. 20-some years old. 26 years old. So this brother have failed through. Somebody have been miseducating this brother. My brother Carter G. Woodson, y'all know I always claim and speak about Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Woodson said the miseducation of the Negro. I know we don't call ourselves Negroes anymore, but they did one time. They labeled us a Negro. So we keep letting ourselves get bit miseducated. It's us who miseducating our own self now. Oh, the Europeans ain't got to do it. No, sir, the Europeans ain't got to do it. We miseducating our own self. So quit telling and lying to the people, man. If you want to be indigenous here, cool, that's fine. Ain't got no problem with you being indigenous here. Hell, we come from all over. Because we say that what? What do we say? We say that we are the original man and woman. We can't leave the sister out, but the lessons that we learn said that who was the original man? We said the Asiatic black man. Let's take the Asia part out. We said the Asiatic the black man and woman. Hell, the Europeans even say that the black woman is first. So that's how we even come up with the thing that the black woman is God. So we was all over the place, man. We been here. We was original. Hell, we went everywhere first before everybody else. They talk about even this evolution stuff, which I don't subscribe to that. But they talk about out of Africa thing, that when all of these different species of beings, whatever came, they migrated out of Africa. They went this way. They went that way. They migrated. They went all over the different places. But so we walked all over the place, man. It wasn't a place that we hadn't went. Everywhere that the European explorers went, we were already there. We were already there. So they be like, damn, man, where these folks come from? Damn, we go over here, they over there. We go over there, they over there already. Everywhere they go, we here. Let me put this up. So to say, man, that slavery couldn't existed, and because we was already over here, they lying about because we was already over here, we couldn't have came from Africa. We ain't from no Africa. Man, some people, y'all just, and I got to say this, man, it's just that y'all hate that continent so bad. You want to be from other places. I ain't got no problem with that. Because y'all go back, though. You got to go back. Let's backtrack. I love backtracks, y'all. I love me some old school. So let's backtrack. I'm just showing y'all a little slave trade map up there. I know y'all probably seen that. But let's go back for a little bit. Because let's go back to the 30-some thousand years, as they say. 30-some thousand or more years. Like I said when I talked about earlier, how they talked about people was already over here in America. History tells you that. They don't hide that. The people was already over here and stuff like that. But where did they come from? What did they say they migrated from? They said they migrated from another area and then they came over here. So even if you go back and you go back to our brother right fast, let me get back. Uh-oh, my bad. So when our brother right here wrote this book, Ida Van Sertima, y'all go and look about Ida Van Sertima. He got an excellent video, a lecture that he did. Ida Van Sertima, they came before Columbus, the African president in America, in ancient America. And he talked about the people that were here. And he talked about, y'all see that Olmec head. That's the one I want y'all to see, that Nubian head. Look at that nose. Woo-hoo-wee. They look like Ray Ray. They look like Ray Ray from the hood out there. Don't they look like Ray Ray? It look just like Ray Ray. I'm telling you, man. That ain't Ray Ray right there, boy. I tell you, with his kufi cap on. It look like old Ray Ray with the kufi cap on, the little Sunni kufi cap. Or maybe it was a black yarmulke. We got some black Jews, so maybe it was a yarmulke. I don't know what it is. But in the thick lips, boy, y'all ain't getting rid of. That's Tyrese, ain't? That's Tyrese. Hell no, that's Tyrese. That's what it is. That's Tyrese. He ain't got the teardrop. He ain't crying. My bad, Tyrese. My bad. I'm sorry. I ain't mean to say that, Tyrese. But anyway, they came from somewhere. They tell it in the history that they migrated over here from a continent. They might say Africa. They migrated. So that's why they say that we are descendants. That's why people say we descended from a place. So if we descended from there and we came over here and we've been here for thousands of years. We've been here thousands of years. So we had a descendancy where we descended from out of the Africa theory. And we've been here. So you have that. But we are descended. That's why we say, like right now. Hell, I was born in 1971. I know damn well I didn't come from Africa, you know. But we say we have a bloodline, we descended. And let me go throw something out right fast. See me when I look at is it Mike Tyson? Yes sir, brother Black said it's Mike Tyson. Yes sir. Yeah, that might be old Mike. So dude. And you know what? That might be the training when the helmet they got on. You know when they training for boxing, they had a little helmet on. That's probably what that is. So hey, that's the black man. That's the black man right there, y'all. I'm telling you, they got a lot of them. But my thing when like Ethiopians, I see a lot of Ethiopians. I have good relationships with Ethiopians. Every time I go somewhere like one of these little stores and they had a lot of Ethiopians in there, I always try to mess with them. I like, hey, I say, hey, excuse me, can I ask you a question? And yeah, I said, you from Ethiopia, right? Like, yeah, how you know that? I said, I just said, I said, well, I kind of know. I just kind of look at your features and your, your phenotypes and stuff like that, and I see it. They like, yeah, I'm from Ethiopia, and man, like, and then I always go back to this, and we have a good relationship. Like, it's one person I always go every 2 days when we stop and get breakfast at work. Man, they be like, they happy to see me coming now, cause and then I see everybody else, they don't say nothing. They don't say nothing to them. And it's like, and I even had that brother that asked me, I was talking to him, he had a book, and I was asking him, man, what's I said, I looked at the script that was on the book, and I remember Dr. York was even teaching about Ethiopia, and he had the scripts in a book that he had, and I asked him, I said, brother, the Ethiopian script on that book? He's like, yeah, brother, he said, how you know that? I said, I just recognize it. I just recognize the script, from other teachings and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah. And so we started talking. He started asking me. He said, where your family from? He said, he started asking me. He said, where's your family originated from? I said, man, really, brother, I can't tell you, man. He said, he said, did you have any family from out of Mississippi area? And I told him, I said, yeah, my family kind of like, as far as in America, my family they came out of the Mississippi area. He's like, man, he said, yeah, you know what? He said, because he was telling me, he was looking at me, telling me now, I ain't never had an African and nobody tell you, now this is just me personally, that actually told you that you look like, or you have the Ethiopian features. And that's what the brother told me. And he was like, well, because, there was a lot of, through the slavery, there was a lot of people from Ethiopia, too, that was in Mississippi, that Mississippi area. And he said, man, you need to do your research and dig and ask your family about, do they know any part of the history of bloodline where they came from? This is what African was telling me. And so he was telling me to go and look that up, because he's like, you might have some, lineages from Ethiopia. And I don't know. So maybe it is. Hell, I don't know. I had never did it, because I don't really want to get into them damn DNA tests, because I ain't trying to get my damn DNA to none of them folks. I don't trust them with their DNA stuff anyway. But anyway, finally get back on track. So we got to, like I said, the whole purpose, man, of this here tonight, grab our young brothers and sisters, man, and teach our history. Because if they're teaching this stuff like this, or they're saying stuff like this, it's going to be a lost cause soon. Because I'm telling y'all, they changing these history books. They already saying that we came over here as migrants and immigrants. Y'all president that some of us love, Barack Obama, said it too. It wasn't just Ben Carson. It was Barack Obama them said it. So they're teaching that we came over here as immigrants and migrants in this country. I'm telling y'all better grab hold of these young babies so y'all can teach them, man. So that y'all can teach them what's really going on. That's what we supposed to do anyway. But a lot of them falling by the wayside. If that brother 20-some years old, he's 20-some years old, and he don't know truly the history like that. Some of us be failing, man, as elders. We failing at our duties and what we supposed to be doing. And we got to stop these people, man, out here. And that's why I say this country community can be dangerous. Some of y'all going to probably get pissed off at me, but I'm telling you, man, really the country community need to be shut down, because those elders like the Ida Van Sertima's, the John Henry Clarks, the Dr. Ben, them, a lot of them elders, they passed on, and we do have a lot of them that's still here with us, but we don't just see them out here teaching anymore like they used to. So we got this new breed of people who coming up, and they coming in under this damn thing called the, damn, I forgot, just slipped my mind. I'll finish say the Ice Age. This new age, there you go. They this new age stuff. And they mixing, chopping and screwing. Yeah, they chopping and screwing. Like in Houston, Texas, the mixtapes. They chopping and screwing a lot of this information, and they misguiding people with some of this information. They ain't bringing it hardcore and bringing it straight like we did have Dr. Ben, them, and Brother John Henry Clark, those elders. They chopping and screwing this information because they trying to make it fit into their way. Now, them elders didn't do that. They just bring the information, man, and they'll tell you whether they believe in religion or not, or subscribe to religion, and they just tell you, man, they just bring it straight out. Like I said, well, I ain't trying to take you away from your religion. Yeah, but they just bring the information. So a lot of our people, man, they're lying about this information. And the whole thing about this indigenous stuff, y'all better be watching this bull crap anyway. Study this stuff anyway, because we see a lot of our people getting entangled up in a lot of this sovereign movement stuff. And it ain't moved nowhere with us yet. We still entangled in and getting in trouble with all of this sovereign movement stuff. I ain't telling y'all, man, don't look. It might work, but well, hell, so far it ain't. But look at y'all. Look at this stuff that's going on. So in that post, that B.O.B. had with that picture he had hashtag, and I ain't gonna beat up on that brother, Asir Duke of Tears. Y'all know who that is. And he was been listened to probably, so maybe he had been listening to a lot of stuff that he had been teaching. And I've heard a lot of his teaching, which I don't agree with a lot of it. None of it. Well, I ain't gonna say none of it. I don't agree with a lot of it. I ain't gonna tell y'all the percentage, but I don't agree with a lot of that stuff. So y'all be careful, man, out here, brother, sisters and brothers trying to get knowledge of self. Just be very careful. And those of us who know better, man, don't be scared, man, to go up in opposition and speak it and fight against this type of stuff, man, because it got to be told, man. Because I'm telling y'all, man, what they trying to do. They erasing our history, and we got these damn fools who probably same skin tone, they look like you and I, that's helping them destroy our history. Because we got to look at it again, like they talk about in slavery. We all didn't get along. We want to make believe and put out that we all got along with each other. Hell no. Because if it was, we wouldn't have been selling each other in slavery. That's why they were saying, man, that it was some chiefs and priests and stuff like that. This book right here, y'all tell y'all get this book right fast. Let me see, can I get it? Y'all can see it clear. Check that book out, man. See, it was $1. It ain't $1.20. It ain't $1.95 no more. I got this at a what I got this at, bro? I think I got this at a yard sale somewhere, man. Good book though. Good book. Got it at a yard sale. See, y'all can find some good stuff, man. You know, you gotta shop for it. Check that book out on Amazon, man. Check it out. Great book about West Africa. It goes into Mali and all of that different stuff. Ghana, the history. Excellent book. I don't know when it came out. Let me see when it copyrighted. It was $1.95, man. Whew. Excellent history book. But we gotta do our research. Let's quit being YouTube scholars. It's helpful sometimes for quick reference, but we just can't be YouTube scholars, man. The copyright was 1965, the first copyright, 1965. We just can't be YouTube scholars, man. A lot of this stuff, man, before the YouTube, man, you had to actually do some reading. You had to do a lot of reading. So you got to, man, read, study. I'm telling you, man, don't take the easy way out. If you hear something on YouTube, man, get the books, man. Sit down and try to read and study to find out a lot of this stuff. Let me go back to something that the guy mentioned in that clip about slavery, Mauritania. I got to go back to the Moors again. And this ain't trying to beat up on y'all, but let me go with this one right here. And I believe a lot of this is just my theory. This is just my theory. Like I said, Sunray theory. Don't y'all quote me on this and say something, well, this is what it is. It's just my theory. I kind of truly believe that a lot of people, why they try to take away from slavery, it's like my good sister, what's her name? Joyce, Brother Joy DeGray, Sister Joy DeGray, with the book that she has, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Y'all always hear me talk about that, the Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. A lot of this stuff we're probably trying to find a way to deal with what happened to us. Because y'all don't even know, man, you just really don't understand that a lot of us are going through this post-traumatic slave syndrome. Right to this very day. We having symptoms of a lot of this stuff. Right to this very day. And I give you a quick scenario about why I say that, or example of why I say that, then I jump back to where I'm supposed to be at. Because in the news about last week, there was a woman sister who she whipped her 10-year-old son, right? She was whipping her 10-year-old son, and then she said she whipped him with a extension cord. We remember them extension cords, don't we? Some of y'all remember them extension cords. I know some of y'all got, y'all had flashbacks, post-traumatic syndrome. But anyway, she was whipping him with an extension cord, 10 years old, and then they said she choked him. And when she finished choking him, now she was out of line with that one, but when she choked him, he went in the kitchen. They said he got a knife and he stabbed himself and killed himself. 10 years old, because she whipped him with a extension cord, and she and then she choked him, and he went in and got a knife and killed himself, stabbed and killed himself. Yeah, she's in jail. Yeah, child endangerment and some other charge. They didn't charge her with the murder, but they charged her with child endangerment and something else. But her sister actually came out on the news and did an interview, and they said that when she was young, her mother used to whoop her a lot. Used to always whoop her and beat her and stuff like that. And so that's what I'm saying. Look what she was doing to her child. Now, there's no telling how long that she had been doing. Yeah, Brother Mike. Yeah, brother. Not Brother Mike. See, I'm damn again like the other cats. I'm looking at your name, Brother Savannah. Peace, Brother Derek in the house. Peace, peace. Much love to you, Brother D. Peace, peace. Yeah, but see, that's what we're talking about, this post-traumatic syndrome. See, it could have been something that was in her, man, that happened to her, the traumatic thing that she went through by her mom always beating her, and look how it affected her and what she done to her child. Yeah, let's go with another one. They say this is what some psychologists say. I'm not a psychologist. I have no idea. Peace, Brother Raheem. Peace, Brother Raheem in the house. They say most people who commit molestations and stuff like that, most of them they probably had been molested themselves. You would hear a lot of them when they sit down with them and probably do some therapy on them. They like, well, I was molested as a child, and most of them actually come out to be molesters themselves. It's a lot of this stuff that goes, peace. A lot of this stuff goes back, man, through dramatic stuff that people go through. So we have to have a healing process, because we don't know what a lot of people going through and what when they do certain acts and what they doing. So we don't know how they were traumatized in their lives that made them do a lot of the stuff they do. And I'm not giving nobody no way out, but I'm just going back to what my good sister Joy DeGray said. Joyce DeGray said in her book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. A lot of us, we still having these effects that go on for years and years of what happened to us. Because like she said in that book, man, we never had any therapy. They didn't set up any damn counseling sessions for us to lay on the damn couch or nobody else for us to talk to when our family got out of chattel slavery. They just said, okay, you free or whatever. There was no therapy sessions that we went through. Man, a lot of people, they seen a lot of bad stuff that happened. Said, appreciate you, preach, thank you as well. Yeah, they seen a lot of traumatic stuff. You seen pregnant women or sisters, right? That were pregnant, and then they end up, man, they had a baby, right? And they take the baby, slam them on the ground, and actually stomp their heads and smush it like they putting out a cigarette butt. We had people who seen that. Y'all don't know how traumatic that could have been. I can't even imagine myself. They was cutting babies out of sisters' wombs, straight out of their stomach. And then sometimes they'll cut the baby out of their stomach and then get the baby and then slam them on the ground and then stomp their head. Family, we went through some trauma. So a lot of this stuff that we're seeing today is very traumatizing. We had no help. We have nobody to talk to about this. So we got to try to talk to each other, man, to try to help with this stuff. So a lot of the crimes that we seeing is happening in our community today from our young brothers is because they're being traumatized through the time from I don't give a damn if it was through the civil rights era, because they constantly hearing what happened in the civil rights era. They can watch films where dogs being put on our family, being sprayed with water hoses. It ain't been too damn long ago. Y'all might say it was 30 years ago. Whatever it was, we still could be traumatized by that because our mothers went through it. My grandmama went through it. My mother went through some of those times through the civil rights eras. So it could affect a lot of us. I went through a lot of racial stuff with dealing with police. I've had it happen to me. So I understand, family. So it's a lot of stuff we have to do. We have to work it out. And some people like, man, why y'all started talking on this slavery stuff, man? God, come on, man. Look, you tell the Jews to quit teaching about the Holocaust. Quit having a Holocaust remembrance. Tear down the goddamn. Try not to cuss, y'all. I'm working on my language. They try to tear down the doggone Jewish Holocaust museums. Tell them to tear it down then. So we can't talk about our stuff so we can help educate our children, because they say if you don't remember where you came from, your black behind can easily go back. So we ain't trying to go back there. Some Ray damn show ain't. We ain't trying, y'all. They can get them damn chains and shackles they got in the museum, in the slave museums, and they can easily put them bad boys right back on you today if y'all ain't careful. So you better know where you come. And what they say, in order to know where you're going, you better know where you came from. You better know your past. Because see, sometimes your past, look at here. They said we learn from our mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. And it was a mistake, family. When our ancestors in Africa sold a lot of us into slavery, and we don't want to admit that. But like I said, it was a lot of that stuff that was dealing with economics, and it was an institution. Did they probably know that this stuff was going to happen to the magnitude that it did by selling them? They probably didn't. Because like they said, a lot of them, they when they were selling the so-called slaves, or not the slave, were the people that, because it was a lot of it, as they were saying earlier in some of those clips, they were saying that, they saying how, let me see, I'm trying to look at the chat room. Yeah, peace. Yeah, they're saying how a lot of our people, right, they were in Africa. They were warring tribes against each other. So they had you as prisoners of war. And when the Europeans came with different merchandise, like the guns, the gunpowder, and different stuff like that, and they wanted those so-called prisoners of war, you know, they might have told them anything. I remember Elijah Muhammad had a story where he was like telling them to trick them to get on the ships. We're going to bring you over to the new land, man, and set y'all up and stuff like that, and y'all can help build a new land. But when they got over here, it wasn't nothing like that. And then they put them into slavery like that. They would just tell them they was going to come over here and work and, you know, and do. But like, you know, a lot of people did come over here as indigent servants, like the Europeans that a lot of our people lie and tell about. And now y'all seen the clip I just played where it was the European or whoever that was narrating the clip. He talked about the Irish Holocaust. Or the Irish thing that people want to tell you when you talk about the African Holocaust. Oh, the Irish went through slavery too. White people went in slavery too over in America. That's a damn lie. They was indigenous servants. You don't, like I said, you can't make that comparisons for indigenous servant to chattel slavery. Indigenous servants where you agreed. When you go to work, you sign a contract. If you go work for a company, you sign a contract, which they call is an application. That is a contract. It's a contract for hire. And they tell you put in an application. Look, now I go with them on that. Say, look up Black Laws Dictionary, look up a law dictionary, and look up the word employee and employer. Employee or employer mean master and servant. Y'all look up employer in the Black Laws Dictionary. Damn, mine over there. Employer or employee. When you you can sign a contract. That contract is your contract to do a job. So when I sign an application for a company and they tell me, well, we pay on this job, we pay $10 an hour. So that's a contract. You agreed to do this job for $10 an hour. That's a contract. And then once you go out and you work, you put in your W-2 form and all of this stuff. And then when you go out, you mean indigent servant? Indigent servant, yeah, my bad. I might have been flowing too fast. Yeah, indigent servant, you're right. When you go out and you do the job, you get your money that you agreed to pay. They pay you what they said they agreed to pay, but you're the contracted worker. They told you what your job, the job entails of doing. So they tell you that. So you're a contracted worker. But that's not the same as being a chattel slave when they just come snatch your ass up and put you out there in the field and say, you're going to do this here. You're going to work, goddamn it. We're going to beat the. That's different. That's a whole different ball game. So y'all can't use that talking about indigenous servants where so-called the Europeans, the Irish went through and equate that with chattel slavery. Hell to the no. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. It just ain't the same. It's just like, goddamn it, when we used to back in the day, try to drink Kool-Aid without sugar. It just ain't the same. It just ain't the same. You got to have that sugar in it. Got to have the same. Got to have that sugar. Let me see. Wish more people could hear you. They said, yeah, brother, there's that wish boy. Yeah, brother. I mean, I'm just trying to do my job as in life, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's it, brother. I ain't trying to be nothing special. I'm not trying to be no next leader. I'm not trying to be nobody. I damn sure ain't trying to be no leader. I ain't trying to be the next master teacher. I'm not trying to be none of that, brother. I'm just trying to do what I told a brother a long time ago that I was doing. When a brother brought me up on the knowledge long time ago, when I was incarcerated. I'm Black Brother Malcolm. Don't get shocked when a brother said he was incarcerated, because hell, a lot of, like Malcolm said, hell, a lot of us been incarcerated. Hell, a lot of y'all incarcerated in your goddamn minds because you're too scared to look outside of what you've been told. But when I was incarcerated, brother gave me the knowledge, and I told him, I said, brother, I don't know how I can ever repay you. He said, you can't. He said, but what you can do, You can go out and teach others. You can go out and try to help others get this knowledge and information. So I've been on that journey ever since about the 1994 somewhere, whatever it was. I think it was like 1994. I've been trying to do just that. So just try to give the people the information. That's all, bro. I can't pay nobody back. Like I said, that's it. All I can do is try to share the information. That's all we can do. Like I said, quit trying to be popular. It ain't about no goddamn popularity contest. It's just that we trying to set the record straight. So when that young brother, man, B.O.B., the young brother that made that rapper, made that statement, y'all got to pull his coattail and tell him, nah, brother, that's incorrect information. That's correct information about, so slavery couldn't exist without no ships, bro. So like I said, if you want to go with that theory, I got some for you then. Show me what a Viking ship's at. What a Viking ships that they was talking about the Vikings were ruling the seas. Where they ships at? Oh, for a matter of fact, since I played Taj Tariq Bey, who's supposed to be a Moor, like I said, I ain't trying to beat up on the Moor, since it was, but I'm telling you who said it. And he put up a Moorish, talking about the brother B.O.B., the rapper, he put up the Moorish pictures of a Moor, and I played Tariq Bey. He made, and also B.O.B. made reference to a Dukatir who say he's a Moor. So he made the reference to the Moors as well. So I'm just telling you what they say. Where they said they were ruling, they were navigators. I'm telling y'all according to the history that they be teaching. They said they were navigators. Moor mean navigators. Some said Moor mean to navigate or navigators. So they said they were ruling the seas. And they gave the Europeans they taught the Europeans how to sail the seas. Okay, let's play this game. Let's play the game. I love playing games. Where y'all ships at? Moors, where y'all ship at? Huh? How did y'all get over here? Let's go. Let's ride, baby. Let's play this game. So y'all was in Morocco, that's over in It's Northwest Africa, right? Mauritania in Northwest Africa. So if you was in Northwest Africa, Morocco or in Mauritania, because that's where the Moors were, the Berbers and all of this stuff what y'all calling now, or the Arabs. And I put a link in there. I'm gonna put that link back in there. Y'all want y'all to look at that link that I put in there earlier too. Check that link out as well, dealing with Mauritania and what they said about Mauritania. The Arabs, the white Arabs or the white Moors enslaving black Moors. Look at that. Check that out. But anyway, fam, where y'all ship at? Because, okay, how did y'all get from over there? Because y'all say that was old. See, I got to get it right. I got to teach their history right, which they lie on this too. How did y'all get from over there? Because y'all say y'all taught and y'all gave the Europeans the map and taught them how to get over here to America. Okay, where y'all ships at that y'all showed them how to get over here? Where y'all ships at? Where y'all boats at? If y'all were navigating before any European, where y'all boats at? Because, they was over here navigating with the Persians, not the Persians, my bad. The Portuguese was over here in the 1400s. Way before Columbus even came over here. The Portuguese was already over here selling in America, and what they call it America. They wasn't called America at that time. They were over here. So y'all want to go with the boat theory. Where y'all boat at? Y'all ain't got no goddamn boat. Y'all ain't showing nobody no boat. So, excuse me, fam. I want to know where that's at. Where y'all boat at? We want to go with boats. That's all we looking at with boats. That throws away slavery because of the damn boat. I want to know where y'all boat at. That's all I want to know. That ain't the actual boat behind me, y'all. I'm just, but I had to put that up there since I'm talking about slavery today. Where y'all boats at, man? And some more stuff. Here's something else they teach, family. Y'all watch this. Since they want to talk about this, I'm gonna show you how they don't like Africa. And I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna piss some people off, but I really don't give a. Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. I'm gonna piss y'all. When you talk about Morocco, y'all look at a map. They think y'all crazy as hell. When you look at a map, look at a globe. Get y'all a globe. Get y'all a map somewhere. Look up Morocco. Look up Mauritania. Tell me where y'all find Mauritania at, and also Morocco. When I look at my map, I look at any globe. Y'all know where I see it at? In Africa. I see it over in what they call Northwest Africa. right there at the tip of Northwest Africa, right by that ocean right there. That's why I see it. But y'all know what they teach though? You know what some of them, not all of them, I ain't gonna they ain't saying everybody. But y'all know what some of them teach though? They teach that this was Morocco right here. This was the Moroccan Empire. This was the original Moroccan Empire right here. This is what they teach. And some say this was Canaan land. Canaan land, the biblical thing, Canaan land. This is what they teach, man. I couldn't make this up if I wanted to. I don't think y'all got to do go on YouTube and search it. Go on YouTube and search it out, Canaan land or Morocco. That's what they teach. So I ain't making this up. So I just say, man, like I said, this is my theory, and this is what I think is what it is, because I was going with something else and I got off. They ashamed of being Africans because of what happened in Africa with the slave trade. Maybe they ashamed of it. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Maybe they ashamed of being Africans because of the slave trade. And they don't want to be African. So they'll say that over there in Morocco over there, that's the new Morocco. Just like they talk about New England. Y'all know, and check this out. I'm telling y'all how crazy this stuff is. Check this out. Now we know of New England up north, right? Y'all know New England up north on the East Coast. Y'all know New England. They got New York. All of those news is new. And y'all know it really ain't new. It's named after an old one. Because they got old York that's over in England. Y'all know that, don't it? I know y'all know. I don't know why I'm telling y'all. Y'all know there's an old York. There's a old England. So if there's a new, there's an old. They just renamed it because of the people that came from Europe. They just renamed it after there. They wanted something new. They wanted it new. They liked the name. They just renamed it. It's New England. It's New York, which actually it was at first. It was called Amsterdam. I can't get the word out, y'all. I'm having a problem with English, y'all. Trying to get my original language back, so I'm having a problem with the English. My bad. But anyway, so they teach that New York. I'm talking about New York, y'all. Where Sinetta and all them folk be at, y'all. I'm telling you. They said that was actually that's old York. And the one that's over in Europe, that's the new one. They said the Europeans don't flip it on us. Let me stop right there. I got to drink some water behind there. I'm like Woodrow. I got to drink behind there. That's what they teach, fam. That's what they teaching. So y'all watch it. So y'all, the young brother B.O.B., y'all better tell him, man, quit, don't listen to them, man. Don't listen to them. That's what they teach. The everything that they got new over here is actually old. The new stuff is over there. The new stuff is over there. That's what they teach. I promise y'all I couldn't make this up. Because, see, I was calling myself a Moor one time. I was calling myself a Moor. You know, as Nawabians, we was calling ourselves the Nawabian Nation of Moors. And we went through that school. But we weren't that damn foolish, though. We weren't saying no foolish stuff like that, though. We weren't teaching that like that. No. We weren't going like that. But, and there's some good teachings in it. Now, I ain't going to say it ain't, y'all. There's some good teachings in it to know about what happened in history. But y'all just got to watch some of them bootleggers, though. That's all I'm saying. Learn some of this. You can learn some of it because there's some good stuff in it. And I learned a lot of good stuff into it. But y'all got to watch out for them, what Donald Trump say, fake news. Watch out for them fake newsers. Because you got some that's teaching some bull, straight BS. So like I said, it's not a knock on all of the people who call themselves Moors, because all of them ain't teaching that bull crap like that. So I just want to put that on the record. But watch out for that. And because like I said, one more time, okay, so they might be embarrassed because they did have a lot of them had a lot of hands into a lot of stuff, the so-called Moors in Africa. They had a hand in a lot of stuff, those so-called Moors. And because their invasion, this book goes a lot into it about the invasions in Morocco. Oh, this one here does too, especially Ida van Sertima. His book goes into Moors and the Berbers. And a lot of this stuff, y'all, actually goes into the Berbers and stuff that happened in Morocco or Mauritania. I'm trying to find out which book I got it in. I was reading it earlier because I have posted made a note to read it about what was happening in Mauritania, right? With those so-called Moors. It was through the Arabs' invasions, and on the Northwest Africa or Mauritania, right? It was the Arabs and the so-called Berbers that went in and invaded and went in and conquered the so-called the indigenous Africans that was in Mauritania and Morocco, and they basically, a lot of them, they converted over to Islam and stuff of that nature. And so a lot of them was doing a lot of this stuff, and they was taking on the name Moors as well. That's why I ask an African primarily, and we did it on the show. We interviewed our good brother Latif from Ghana. We had 2 interviews with him we did on Culture Freedom Radio, and we was asking him about the Moors. And I've asked several people, not just him, I've asked several people that truly from Africa, asked them, do they know about the Moors? Have they heard of the Moors in Spain? They was like, who? Now these people from, they was like, who? Oh, you mean the Berbers? I was like, yeah. No, they don't. Did they call themselves Moors? We don't know. We know them as Berbers. That's what they say. We know them as the Berbers. But when you look up the history out of both of these books, they talk about the Berbers, especially this one, the history. Oh, my bad. The history of West Africa. It talked about the Berbers and the Arabs. It talks about them. But to get back on point, there's a lot of stuff that do have a lot of bad history. We go to what's happening in the Congo with King Leopold. With King Leopold. Y'all go and look up some of them pictures, right? And look at the documentary with King Leopold and when he was in the Congo and what was happening in the Congo with King Leopold. Now, some of these people we see around here now, right, with them crimson color fezzes. I ain't talking about the Shriners. The crimson color fezzes on. Who do we see that was with King Leopold that was there? Y'all remember when they do this? They was cutting people hands off and all of that. They had the guns walking around. Who did y'all? I'm gonna let y'all research and find this out for y'all self. Who did y'all see with those fezzes on and stuff that was doing it to other Africans? I'm gonna let y'all find it out. I ain't gonna say it. I've probably been in enough trouble with them. But who y'all see with them fezzes on? I'm gonna just leave it at that. What would they call them? The Foreign Legion and all of this stuff. They had those fezzes on. I seen pictures all with that, man. Whew, y'all gotta look at it. So I just think, man, a lot of them, man, they hate to be Africans or don't want to have any link with Africa because of the slave trade and what happened in the history. I mean, hey, man, it is what it is. It happened, man. Look, there's no need to be ashamed of it. I mean, if a lot of our people participated in it, a lot of us, we participate in a lot of stuff right to this day. I did. I participated in some damn crimes that I hate I did. But hey, it happened, man. It's history now. I just got to do better now. I got to change my life and do better, and don't go back and do it again. So if we did some things in history, we did participate in the slave trade. It happened. We just don't do it no damn more. But let's go back. Remember, again, Mauritania. Y'all go look it up. What they talked about Mauritania. There's still slavery, chattel slavery in Mauritania today. The guy in the clip, he mentioned it. How they still have chattel slavery that exists in Mauritania today. There's a website, and damn, it slipped my mind. I think it's Free Slavery or Slavery Freedom. It's something like that. Y'all can search it out about, do slavery still exist in America? I mean, in the world today. That's the best way I can tell you to find it. Google search and ask, do slavery still exist in the world today? And it'll take you to this different website where they're trying to fight different slavery. Because there's different forms of slavery that they call slavery. Indigenous, what they call indigent servitude. I get their word right. Chattel slavery. They got sex slavery. They got all kind of, slavery that's under that term called slavery that's happening in the world today. But on that website, they say that you are 75% likely to be enslaved in Mauritania. Y'all heard what I said? They said 75% likely to be fall in some kind of slavery in Mauritania. That's what they say. And remember that clip, what the guy had said? That slavery still exists in Mauritania today, even though it's outlawed. Chattel slavery. I'm talking about chattel slavery. Not you a willing participant, you volunteer. I'm talking about you forced into slavery. And they beat the hell out of you and all that stuff like they did to our ancestors. That still happened to this very day. Hell, in part of Sudan, slavery still is happening to this very day, y'all. And mostly in these damn Islamic states. I got to say it. I got to tell the truth. I can't bite my tongue on this stuff. I can bite my tongue because it hurt. It still happened. So in Mauritania, which they say Mauritania, the Moors, sometimes they talk about. That's why a lot of this stuff they don't want to identify with that history over there. Even though they talk about Moors in Spain and where did they come from when they went into Spain. They don't want to get into that. They might tell y'all to read the Moors in Spain, but they don't want to identify with that part of the history. And like I said, there's no beat up on it, but we're going to tell it. We're going to have to tell the whole damn truth. If we're going to tell it, let's tell the whole truth. Come on, man. You know, we got to set the record straight. We got to. We got it. So, because I hated to see my young brother like that, man, B.O.B. I don't listen to his music or nothing, but at his age, 20-some years old, he's being misguided. He's putting out, and no, he's in the spotlight because he's an entertainer. He's a performer. So when he says statements like that, he has a following who's listening to him. So that's why we got a lot of our young people are being misguided out here with a lot of the stuff that's happening because they listen to these entertainers, and some of them probably trying to find their way too. Like they talking about Waka Flocka, who's saying that he's not black and all of that type of stuff. But let me see here. It said, Archie Williams said, but we are not going to get stuck there. Yeah, he said, but we are not going to be stuck there. Yeah, we can't be stuck. No, we can't get stuck. No, we can't get stuck no damn well, be honest. But we don't want the people teaching them people falsehood, you know, about our history. Like I said, nobody else is trying to say their history didn't exist like it did. Like I said, you know, like we got the African Holocaust. Oh, I don't know. Like I said, this book, y'all, it's kind of like messed up because I got this background. But the African Holocaust, they had the Jewish Holocaust. They don't. Like I got to keep mentioning that. They never come and say this didn't happen to the magnitude that is written in history. They don't never say that. Like I said earlier, let anybody they find out that in Germany that had something to do with those people going in those gas chambers. Let them find one so-called German that has something to do with it. They still hunt down people right now today. If they can, if they find their grave, if they dead in their grave and find out that where they grave at, there's somebody that had something to do with them soldiers that put their people in them gas chamber, they'll dig their ass up and kill them again or put them in prison. Because look, you're going to pay for what happened to them. But we want to say it didn't happen to us. We want to say it didn't happen because America was too young and the date don't add up. The numbers couldn't add up. The ships, because I played Tashariq Bay earlier, because the ships, it couldn't have happened. How foolish could we be? How foolish could we be? But we say we got knowledge of self. We in a day now with all of this damn technology and information. I don't know. But like I said, start asking them when they start talking about the ships. Make it simple. Play the game with them. Like brother Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad said, when they start labeling this thing called the Middle East, like he said, get stupid with them. Don't get stupid, y'all, but play the game with them. Ask them, okay, you got the Middle East, but what the middle? What the upper middle? What the lower middle? What's the side middle? Play the game with them. When they said wasn't no damn ship, well, you ask them then, where is the goddamn Columbus ship? Since y'all want to say Columbus didn't actually discover America, but history they teach this in school that Columbus did discover America. Well, ask them to show y'all goddamn it Christopher Columbus ship. That'll kill that then. Don't say he didn't discover America because people was already here. Tell them to show you the damn ships. Just like y'all saying, show y'all the ships, and then y'all believe that there was a slave trade. That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. Get that, man. Don't let them fools off like that, fam. Don't let them off that easy. Get them. Like Brother Black said, you got to get them. What he said, get over it, bro. Yeah, get them, man. You got to get there. Yeah, you got to get them. They dig it out, they kill it. They said they digging them up and killing them. Yep, they dig damn right. They digging them up, and Black said they digging them up and killing them. Hell yeah, they recloning them. They digging their bodies up, getting they DNA, and they reclone them, and then they cleaning the damn clone. Boy, that's how bad they want their ass. That's how bad they gonna make them pay. They clone them and then re-kill the damn clone, because they gonna make sure they gonna pay for what happened to them. But we want to teach that it didn't happen. That's sad, fam. That's sad. And it's nothing to try to teach to brag about. It's no bragging. You can't brag about it, but it's to help to to get over what happened, and it's history, man. We can't change the history. We can't change the history. I mean, it's there, but they're trying. They trying, and that's why I'm saying, like, when you're looking at what's happening in America with the history books, how they are rewriting these history books. That's why they want to tear down the Confederate statues and monuments and all these Confederate monuments and stuff. Because if they're teaching that, if we let them go ahead and teach there was no so-called as an African slave trade and all of this stuff, right? And we let them get away. So when they change the history books, I mean, it's gone. It's gone anyway, because they're going to change the history book. So what the hell you going to teach on? It's just like in ancient times or whatever, how we say a lot of stuff wasn't written. Well, we passed on information through the elders from mouth to ear. I mean, I told you, from my mouth to your ear. A lot of things wasn't written in stone. It wasn't written yet. So we passed it on through mouth to ear. And right now, we have through a lot of what we call sacred societies, what some people might say secret society, a lot of secret society, we don't put everything on paper. We teach a lot of stuff from mouth to ear. I ain't gonna get into that, but we teach things from mouth to ear. It ain't everything need to be written, because we don't need everybody finding our information. If I tell you something and I know that it get out, I know damn well you told it, because I only told it you from mouth to ear. So I'll just leave it at that right there. So we got a lot of that history like that, man. And like I said, it's our story, our history. As some of my brothers said in the Hop said in the thing, it's history. Yeah, it's history. But we also have our story. Let's tell our story. Let's tell our story about what happened. Let me see. Einstein was one of them scientists, Tesla. They didn't persecute them. They praised their genius. Yeah, he said they praised their genius. Well, yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm gonna have to research. I can't quote on that one. I'm just reading the chat room. I can't quote on that one. I'm gonna have to research that one. But wait a minute. They did kill Tesla ass now. Hold up now. They did kill Tesla ass. Now you might not think they did, but Tesla ass was killed. Now they use these mad scientists. But see, they can use them mad scientists to do one thing, and then have them to use for something else. But they killed Tesla ass. Now they got rid of them. Now don't you look that up for yourself. But they ain't gonna say it like that. They not gonna flatfoot say, well, we killed Tesla. No. They ain't gonna flatfoot tell it like that. You know better than that. But they did get him. They did get there. Now, hey. They can say he died of malaria or any damn thing. Like he had an Eazy-E incident. He just suspiciously died of AIDS. But Suge Knight came out on TV and said it's easy to shoot somebody up with AIDS like Eazy-E. They slick told her. But yeah, that's what I just came in the house, man, and talk about the Knight family, man. Don't let these folks get away with this, man. Just pull the coattails of these folks so they can quit teaching that false history like that, man. Quit letting them stop saying that slavery didn't exist, because ain't no damn ships. That's crazy as hell. That's crazy as hell. That's why a lot of people, they was getting on him too when he made that comment. They were saying that was the stupidest thing ever said, because it were. But we got to get on the people, man, who's teaching this stuff. That's what we got to do. Correct the people who's teaching this. That's what we really have to do. We got to stop this, man. Some of this stuff sound good. It sound good. Hell yeah, because I fell for a lot of this stuff. It sound real good. But when you go back and do the research for yourself, you will see, man, hey, bro, that ain't what they say. It's just like I said, going back to the church, right? If the preacher can be preaching something sound good, sound fine, good. And then you go back and you read that scripture for yourself like, hey, Rev, that ain't what that said. Man, where you get that from? But for a matter of fact, I can't even find it in the Bible. Where you get that from? He made it up because it sounded good and you were feeling it, boy. You were feeling it. The drum was playing and he was preaching and you felt it like, woo, I got the Holy Ghost up in here. But when you go to research information, that information wasn't there. That's how a lot of this information they passing out to us. It ain't there. It's not true. It's not factual. It's not factual. So we got to start dealing with the facts. We got to start dealing with the truth. Stop dealing with all this damn feel-good stuff. Don't deal with it because it make you feel good. do deal with it because it make you factual. Because a lot of stuff when you find out in the end, like they say, sometimes the truth hurt. It might hurt. It's just like, for instance, you might think and I hate to pick on my sisters. I ain't trying to pick on my sister, but you might think that you in love. You got a woman. Your woman love you, boy. She love you. She really love you. But boy, my woman won't cheat on me. But you come home, boy. Somehow you come home early from work. Mr. Jody at the house. Woo, Mr. Jody. I ain't gonna even go into the plunge on that. But Mr. Jody at the house. Boy, you will be hurt like a mother sucker. Oh, man, you hurt. You ready to go kill up the whole damn neighborhood. I'm not propagating violence, y'all. But you ready to, man, boy, you hurt. Because you thought she loved you. My woman wouldn't do this to me. But you found out the truth. You found out the truth that she did. Hell, some of you brothers, some of you sisters, same way. They flip it around. Y'all might be in love with this dude, same way. And same way. And she doing the same thing. He doing the same thing. So it's like, man, don't do it. Don't do it, y'all. Don't let them do it to you. Get the facts, man. Go on, get the facts. Deal with the facts. Yeah, we did. We had something to do with it. Africans truly did, because I heard it for years, and I denied a lot of that stuff too. Africans did have part into the slave trade, but it was a lot of stuff that was business, because slavery was a business. It was cruel as hell. I'm gonna damn near admit that it was a cruel thing. But we did have a lot of Africans who were selling other Africans, and that's why people like say today, how come, like when Africans come over here, they don't really deal with us? And some will say that we're not all the same. We're not all the same now. They said some Africans say that we ain't the same as y'all. We don't deal. And then I heard people say, well, how come they never come? Why they never try to come get us? I've heard that even said too. If we supposed to be Africans, why and the Europeans came and brought us here, why the Africans over there never tried to come get us? That's a good question though. Why they never tried to come get us? So it's like they probably wasn't meant to come get y'all ass, because we sold your ass because you wasn't of our tribe. Huh? You was a prisoner of war. You wasn't, like I said, you wasn't a part of us, dog. Like they say now, you wasn't a part of us. So you weren't a part of our tribe. So we ain't supposed to come get you, dog. You were meant to be sold. Hell, we sold your ass on purpose, because you was our prisoner of war. You wasn't from our clan. You ain't from our bloodline. I ain't. Why should I come get you? For a matter of fact, like the brother saying, what the ship said, how am I gonna get you? I ain't got no ship. Because we are Aboriginal Africans now. See, there we go again. See, in the chat room, C-Hop said, because we are Aboriginal Americans, not Africans. You might say that. See, that's what I'm talking about right now. The whole point I was talking about. You might say that you original. What's your proof? What's your proof that you got? And I'm not trying to dispute with you, but see, that's the whole problem I'm talking about. Why people talking about that we didn't come from out. It wasn't no African slave trade. You can say that. How can you prove that? That might be some it's like people right now can say they Hebrew Israelites. They read the information. I've been through that shit. I'm telling you. I read the information. It sounds good. 1 minute I'm saying I'm Egyptology. I'm Kemetic. 1 minute I read some more information. No, that we ain't Kemet. We Hebrew Israelites. Now I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Then I read some more information. No, we Aboriginal. We Aboriginal. What? So you got bloodline document. Well, they may be you got bloodline document. That don't mean every goddamn body that's over here that's not from Africa. Look here, man. If you want to be from here, you want to be from there. If your ass want to be from Mars, I really, frankly, my dear, as they say, I wouldn't give a damn. Just be where you want to be from. But don't go and teach everybody else things didn't happen because you say that we was from here already. God damn it, you can't prove that. You can't prove I can't right now prove where the hell I come from. There's no way in the hell right now I would tell you. All I know, God damn it, I was from Tennessee. Out of the city, that's all I could really go back to tell y'all from. My mother, I can tell y'all what state they came. For as far as what country in Africa and all that, I can't. If I said I'm from Africa, if I said I was from Australia, I can't prove that shit. I don't have no evidence. I can feel that I'm from there or whatever. I can't tell y'all, man. I'm just being honest. This me. I can't tell you where the fuck I came from. Excuse my French. I'm trying to work on that, y'all. I can't tell you exactly where I'm from. So anybody who want to say, and I ain't got no problem with nobody saying y'all we are Aboriginal. I read that, man. I read that. Yeah, like people wasn't here, bro. Black Cat, you sure right, bro. I read that information. I've been there. I'm telling you. Okay, I read that. I went into all of that earlier while I went to here. God damn it, look. I read the information. I understand what the elders was talking about. They came before Columbus, the African presence in ancient America. God damn it, don't y'all understand? Don't you understand? I'm not a one-person doctor. I'm not a one-person into doctrine. God damn it, I study every goddamn thing. So you ain't gonna come and get me with that. You might get somebody else with that. So man, it is what it is. You can be Aboriginal, you can be unoriginal. I don't give a goddamn what you want to be. It's just you gonna fight this goddamn enemy. That's all I want to know. You're gonna fight the enemy that's trying to oppose all of us. That's all I goddamn it want to know. That's all I care about. That's all I want to know. Are you gonna try to stop the injustice that's happening to us? I mean, it don't make no goddamn difference where you say you come from. I don't care. I don't care about that shit. So that's petty to me. But I'm just talking about, man, we got to stop the foolishness. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. We not Africans. We Aboriginal. And see, that's the people who promoting this stuff that's going on out here. A lot of this stuff, half of y'all, not all of y'all, it's a couple of y'all the damn problem of why that young brother said what he said. Because of the ships. So you don't believe that people slavery existed? Let me ask you, C-Hop, do you believe that slavery, or don't believe that slavery existed because of wasn't no ship? Do you believe that? And then we go back to the in this book here, where Brother Ida Van Sertima talked about, because we got to go back again. That's why the Omeg head on here. Now he talked about, yeah, we were already here, so we can say, but before, and I subscribe to that, how we were here before any Europeans got here. But he talked about how going back to where we descended from at a place before all of this continental drift and all of this stuff supposed to had happened. Brother Dr. Ben, all of our elders, all of our scholars that teach on this. Before the continental drift, that we all migrated and we went this place, we went that place. So we might have so-called started in one central location, then thousands of years. We migrated, we moved to different places. Hell, you might can say that when the continental drift, we might have moved. We was already on this place. And hell, probably when the continental drift happened, we was already over here. And hell, when it separated, yeah, we was here. But it was one particular part where we might have been on this little piece at first. Then we moved over here, we moved over there. Don't mean, goddamn it, we're still not related to each other. So yeah, you might have been over here, but as your descendant, that's why people say we descended. They might say we descended from Africa or that continent of Africa. Thousands of years. They say, yeah, we were already there. Yeah, we was here before any European got here. But we migrated 1,000, 40,000, 50,000 years ago, and we came here. So we are descendants. Yes, it is from that continent that they calling Africa now. What do we all want to call it, Africa? Not that's hit neither here nor there. Brother Ben called it Akibilon, y'all. That's what he said. So yes, our enemies are the same. So we can fight over whether we Aboriginal, African, all goddamn day long. It don't make no goddamn difference. What are you gonna do now? That's what I'm talking about. What are you gonna do now? And the land that we talk about, we was already here. Goddamn it, we ain't running it. We ain't running it. So to just say that we Aboriginal, we was already here, it don't make no goddamn difference. You ain't running it now. That's what I'm talking about. Can we talk about what's going on now? See, we talk about history all goddamn day long. That's history. But I'm talking about what I can prove right now. And I can prove right now, goddamn it, we ain't running this show. The damn Federal Reserve, not yours. You don't own that. You don't own, goddamn it, you ain't even on no goddamn money. You ain't on none of that damn stuff that we go after. You don't own the Constitution. You don't run the Constitution. Go and change the Constitution then. Let us change the Constitution then. If we run this is our land. Tell the people who coming over here, Wait a minute, hold up. So if this is our land, so we supposed to tell Donald Trump, you can't tell these damn people they can't come in this country. You can't set up no immigration laws to tell the people who can and come out this country. This our land. We determine who want to come over here. Tell Donald Trump them that then. Let's go to the White House tomorrow or Monday, whenever the hell we want to go, and let's go and tell Donald Trump we run this. We determine who can come in this country or not, because this is our land. We the original people on this land. We determine who come over here. We let them come over here, and goddamn it, they still here. They been here, goddamn it, since they came over. They still here. They came and took the whole goddamn country. But hold up, wait a minute. Like Nate Dogg said, hold up, wait. Some of us even teach that we gave them the Constitution that they got. We helped them write the Constitution. Y'all didn't know that, did it? Some of them say that too. We helped them establish this country. It was ours, but we made treaties with them to help them take our shit and help them set it up. So don't give me that Aboriginal bull. I don't want to hit all that Aboriginal shit, man. Come on, fam. What you gonna do now? It's good to say where you came from. Yeah, you came from that. Yeah, okay. Well, goddamn it, run your shit that you had at first. Go ahead and run your stuff. They not really know our history. The ones with the biggest guns make the rules. I don't want to hear that. Yeah, they do. You're damn right. They make the rules. But so get you a goddamn big gun then. I tell you what, get you a big goddamn gun and you go ahead and make the rules. So all of that trying to fight over somebody because they say they African, somebody say they Aboriginal, it don't make no goddamn difference if you ain't running shit. Some of the Africans ain't running the stuff in their own country. It's like France right now in some part of Africa. They hitting their ass with slavery taxes right now. Some part of Africa are going, they broke because they owe France them slave taxes. Slavery is supposed to have been ended over there, but they still owe them people slave taxes. Huh? So, man, a lot of them folks still under colonization and shit over there. They say what they got the British Empire. The sun never set on the British Empire. Man, look, them empires, they under there. So it don't make no goddamn difference where we were first. See, that's the shit we all I'm the first. We were here first. Who gives a damn who was first? Like I said, everybody, we like to argue over who did what first. That's what a lot of that get me with these damn debates in the conscious community, where we have the people from the Kemetic community arguing with the Hebrews about who had the laws first. Do it make a goddamn difference? Are y'all following the laws? That's all I want to know. Are y'all following them? So it don't make no goddamn difference who had what first. Another thing. So we want to say that was a first. We argue about first. Don't you know that was a first house nigga? Y'all proud of that too, huh? We want to be proud of that, being the first house nigga. And I'm sorry, I had to say it. We want to be first of being the first sellout. Well, we call sellout. We want to be that. We proud of that too, huh? Put that on goddamn record. There was always a first something, but goddamn it, being first ain't always good. It was the first one to die, goddamn it, in the Civil War. The first one to die in this war. It was the first one. It always gonna be a goddamn first. First ain't always good. So always damn, we was over here first before you. It don't make a goddamn difference. What you doing? What you doing now? There's even a part that's in the Bible, y'all, that says that the first will the first will be last and the last will be first. That's what it said. It says the first will be last and the last will be first. So we teach that we are the original man and woman on this planet Earth. So that's that mean that we first. But where are we listed at right now? On the bottom of the goddamn ranking. We're on the last on the goddamn totem pole. So that prophecy come true. The first will be last and the last will be first. They said a white man is, if you go through that graft station stage and you believe the whole teaching of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad about the grafting, you're talking about the black, from the black to brown, the yellow, all of this stuff, and then your last stage is the white man or whatever they call the so-called white man. So black was first, and now they don't flip them up. Look who's running the whole goddamn show now. Now y'all might talk about the Arab. The Arab bow down to the goddamn European. So who's what? So who running shit first? There's even some in they got to call this thing called Apocrypha. Now, a lot of some of the Hebrew Israelites talk about Jacob and Esau. They say Jacob is so-called us, the Judites, and Esau is so-called the white man. They even talk about in the Apocrypha. It says that Jacob will be first. Jacob was first, but Esau will rule to the end. Esau, they say, is the white man. That's even all up in there. Yeah. So yeah, man. So it don't matter, man. It don't matter, bro. I'm just looking at, man, what we gonna do now? What we gonna do now? Say, what's we gonna do? As they say, what's we gonna do? That's all I give a damn about, man. I don't want to hear about all of that original. Like I said, you could be original, you could be aboriginal, you could be original, you could be native, you could be all that. But like I said, if you could brag about that, get your shit back. Excuse my French. It's just like we talk about in history, the Kemetic history. We'll say, well, that's our stuff. You know, like they take something like, say, but the Greeks rewrote it and something like that. Well, that's our stuff. Man, it just watered down. They changed it. Well, like we talking about a lot of this occult knowledge and all this stuff. 666 means something. It ain't nothing evil. That's our stuff. You know what they say? Something about some carbon and this and that, all that. Well, goddamn it, give it back its original form. Don't give me that watered down shit that they got. Even when we talk about the Bible, man, we'll say that's African history. You know, the Greeks don't water it down and this and that. Well, get our stuff and bring it back to its original form. Don't wait till somebody change it and say, well, that's our stuff anyway. And you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. They changed it. Like they say, like I got the book by Dr. York come out, Jesus found in Egypt. And we said the whole Jesus concept came out of the African concept or the Egyptian concept. Well, goddamn it, teach it in its original form. Let's teach it in its original form then. Let's go back to the original way. Don't give me no goddamn copycat. So let's get our stuff back and run this stuff the way it's supposed to be ran. We don't need no watered down version. We don't need that. So like I said, man, y'all want to be Aboriginal, that's cool. But here's the thing, in the process, don't tear nobody else down in the process of trying to build yours up. That's all I'm screaming. That's all I'm saying. You ain't got to say the slave trade didn't nobody come over here from Africa. If the people want to say they from Africa, they feel they from Africa, goddamn it, let them be from Africa. You can't prove, goddamn it, they not from Africa. And you can't really prove your ass is from here. You don't know that shit. We might say it's bloodline. Goddamn it, who? Okay, whose bloodline? Whose technology you using to prove this? Are you using their DNA system? Are you using their DNA system to prove that you from here? That's what I want to know. See, that's why I don't get into all that. That's what I want to know. How are you going to prove this to me? How are you going to prove this to us? So like I said, you ain't got to tear down. I know we got to build sometimes you got to tear down to reconstruct. But come on, we ain't got to do all that, fam. That's the goddamn problem. Right to this very day, while we say, well, we can't get along because we too busy, always want to beat up on somebody else and tear somebody else down in the process of some real small. Your enemy don't give a goddamn. Y'all, like I said, y'all think when them police roll up on our little brother, Tamir Rice, y'all think they asked him, was he Aboriginal? Do you think they asked him, was he African? Hell no. It was only a couple of seconds when they jumped out the car and shot and killed a young brother. Eric Garner, did they stop when they was in the middle choking him and asked him, what is his nationality? Hell no. They killed him. Mike Brown, any one of us who they ever did anything to, did they ever stop to ask us, what is our goddamn nationality? No, the hell they didn't. The so-called people right now, they call the native. They say are the native, living on goddamn reservations. So you think they give a damn about you saying you are Aboriginal, you are original? They won't even put you on a goddamn reservation. They won't even give you no damn land. But we say that we are the original people on this land. We are the Aboriginal. At least they give them land. The fakers that we say ain't damn the native. At least they got some land. They own casinos and all kind of stuff now. We ain't got a goddamn thing. What grandmama and them say? We ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw out of. But we claiming shit. Own some shit. Don't just, look, get some shit. Don't claim it. We talk about we need land. Them folk got land. Get your goddamn land back. Get your whole country. You go tell the government, like I said earlier, you don't have the authority to tell people who can come in this country and who can't, because it ain't yours. You are an immigrant. You get the hell out. Because I'm the original man and woman on this planet. I'm the Aboriginal. Since we want to holler that shit, you go tell them that. I want to see y'all get on the goddamn national television. Y'all tell them people that you ain't going to do it. You ain't going to do it. So when you get to talking about who ain't here, the African can come over here and have more rights than goddamn it you. The Africans come over here, the ones that come from Africa, they got more rights than shit than you. They own stores. They, no matter what, they got stores. When I go in there, shit, I got to do business with them. The fucking Arabs ain't buying. They ain't hiring you. Who they have in this store? Every store you go to, right, primarily. Who you gonna see behind them counters? You're going to see an Arab running that mud, and he's going to have maybe somebody from the Sudan or Ethiopia. Either going to be in there working with them, or they going to actually own the store they sell. You ain't even got your own goddamn store. But we aboriginal. We the original people on this planet. What the fuck we got over here? It's other people coming in this country, they owning shit. But we the original people on this goddamn planet. I mean, on this continent. But you ain't got a damn thing but bragging rights. I don't want to hear that shit about no original this. Come on, man. We need some tangibles to put our hands on. We don't even have everybody, goddamn it. Look, you need socks and drawers. Where your goddamn socks and drawers, your underwear company, your factories at? You can manufacture your stuff. You ain't got that, but we want to holler. We fucking original on this goddamn planet. And excuse my French, y'all. Let me calm down. So I don't want to hear that. Own some shit. You tell the people that own this land, I don't want to hear about no goddamn guns. I don't want to hear about no goddamn drones, what they got. This your shit. You stand up to it and you run it then. Quit arguing with brothers who and sisters who want to claim a nationality or whatever. Let them do that, fam. If you can't provide nothing for them because you say this your land, just flat foot to me, man. Shut the hell up. That's all I'm going to say. Shut the hell up then. Until you start providing something for your family in this land. You start cultivating something in this land. Show us this your land. Huh? And other than that, that's all you got is goddamn bragging rights. So with that, family, man, I'm finna get the hell up out of here. I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, man, sometime, man, y'all, hey, look. Another thing, just for information, go and check out and link up on YouTube for the Sun Ray 9 show on YouTube. Because like I said, it's some things I'm not doing on here that I do on YouTube. So, man, go and check that out, the show on there as well, the Sun Ray 9 show on YouTube, and go over there and subscribe to it. That way, I said subscribe and then hit that bell on it. That way you get the notifications when I'm on live. And sometime y'all might see that I share, if I'm YouTube, I might share on broadcasting live now on air with that. So yeah, just do that, family. And I just said, man, just to end it off, let's stay true. Like they said in the streets, stay true to the game. Stay true to it, man, and try to teach the history. Don't be scared, because they going to wipe your history out. And it ain't just white folks. For y'all going to say white folks erasing your history. It's us that's doing it too. Man, teach it to the best of your ability. And I tell y'all, man, study, and study more. Let me give y'all some more, some of these books I was telling y'all about, man. Check out all of these books, man, to learn. Man, get your head and right. All right, check this one out. This is a great book right here, family. Y'all go and check this book out, man. It takes every piece of history known to man. This is a great book. And like I said, you can read it. It's actually like $39, $39.95. But you can go online, you read the book, and they have online links where you go in. For every chapter, it will have an online link, no matter what the topic of conversation. Let me show y'all. Oh, dang, just turn right to it right here. This is about West Africa, the Kingdom of West Africa. So when you're reading this chapter about West Africa, it actually tell you to go to the website link and then type in the name, like Mansa Musa. It'll tell you to type in like the name of Mansa Musa, and then it'll give you more presentations about that chapter about like the Kingdom of West Africa. There's a lot of stuff in here, man. It's a lot of great information in that. So get that book right there as you can. But this is another great one right here. Let me see here, family. Yeah, the history of West Africa, man. Get this book. This is a great book, great read right there. And like I said, I keep putting it about, man, you got to get this one right here. So there's no doubt, family, that we went already. A lot of our people went already over here. Like I said, a lot of our people was already over here. Not saying everybody. I'm not going to tell that lie. A lot of our people were already over here. So there's no doubt. I got the history. I know the history. Hell, I subscribe to that history. So we know a lot of our people were already over here. Thousands upon thousands of years, not hundreds, but we're talking about thousands of years before any European that was over here. For anybody, we were the original Mayans. We were the original Aztecs. Damn it, I know this. This is another good one. So I don't think that I don't know this, but I'm not saying all of us were. I bet damn fool to say that. This is another one, dealing with slavery. This is another great book, dealing with the slavery. As well. So yeah, so get your book. There's a lot of great books, man. Y'all can get and read and study, man. Put your head in something, man. Besides that damn TV, watching that damn football games, but y'all ain't supposed to be watching this shit anyway. But that's neither here nor there. You're grown. Do what you want to do. But yeah, get your knowledge on, man, and teach our babies, because our babies need to know this information. Hell, not just our babies, grown folks, because the young dude, B.O.B., hell, he grown. He 20-something years old, and hell, he's being misguided. Just stop the foolishness. Let's teach the right history, man. Like I said, Brother Carter G. Woodson said, the miseducation. I must say, he said Negro back in these days, because we was calling ourselves the miseducation of the Negro. We do have a lot of our people that's being miseducated, and a lot of it too now is being miseducated by people that look like us, by our own kind, that's miseducating us. Like I said earlier in the show, we had people like Barack Obama saying we was immigrants. We came over here as immigrants on slave ships. He didn't call it slave ships, but he was saying it wasn't slavery, it was immigrants. You had Eric Holder said it. You had Ben Carson said it. That was not too long ago. Ben Carson said it. Hell, we came over as immigrants and migrated over here, as immigrants. So y'all don't go ahead and don't teach the history. Don't teach the history and watch what happened to your history. It's gonna be gone. Like y'all said, it's history. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be history, and your ass ain't going to have no say-so in it, because you ain't going to be in it. Straight up, you ain't going to be in it. Just like something else. Like the whole civil rights era, when you're talking about how it's being changed, the whole thing, if y'all don't keep on teaching this whole thing right, as it's supposed to be, with this LGBT community, I know I'm about to get kicked off now, with the LGBT community, how they took over and taken over and infiltrating their part with the civil rights movement. Hell, 30, 40 years from now, the whole civil rights era, as our children may know of it later on, if we don't goddamn it keep teaching the right thing, they gonna think that Dr. King got shot and killed on the balcony because of the LGBT civil rights movement. They gonna think that he was fighting for the LGBT community. Well, however y'all pronounce them initials. They gonna think that, because they gonna say that's what Dr. King, that was a part of the civil rights era, and that's what Dr. King fought for, the gay and lesbian rights. So don't teach y'all history and watch what happened. Watch what happened. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm up out of here, brother. Son of Ray 9 has been in the house right here for the Son of Ray 9 show and Culture Freedom Radio. I appreciate y'all for tuning into this broadcast tonight, man. Have a wonderful, safe weekend. And dog, I forgot, y'all. We ain't supposed to be on air because the light's supposed to be out. Everybody was talking about an EMT. Damn, how we stay on the air this long? Peace, y'all. Don't believe the hype. See, that's what I'm telling y'all. Don't believe every damn thing that somebody else put out here. We ain't supposed to have no power right now. We supposed to be in pure chaos. We supposed to be starving and dying right now. But I hope y'all got y'all survival backpacks. Let me tell y'all that right fast. Hope y'all got y'all survival gear. Hope y'all got y'all survival backpacks. Seeing what happened in Houston, seeing what happened in Miami, seeing what happened in Puerto Rico. Y'all better take this survival stuff real serious. Because there was a movie just came out, the Geostorm. Y'all to take things serious and don't let nobody keep and then wait till somebody put these damn scare tactic videos, because we supposed to die. I ain't believe none of that shit, because we supposed to die September the 23rd. They had videos talking about we supposed to been dying in September the 23rd of this year. We still here, unless we talking from today, unless we talking from under the grave. I don't know. But don't believe all this stuff they keep putting out. But do get your survival gear and your survival stuff together. I did videos on that as well. Other people have did videos on it. Man, get your stuff together. If you don't get nothing else together, get you 3-day supply of food and water. Water, if nothing else, a 3-day supply of water. Get that, if nothing else. Get that water, y'all. Hey, peace. I'm up out of here, man. About Son of Ray 9.